Good to go. Hey everybody, welcome to. Do we have a name for this yet?
This is called Monday Live.
Monday Live.
With Steven and Zach. Zach and Steven.
Zach and Steven. But Steven has been replaced by his older, better-looking brother, Jonathan. If you have never you haven't been on content in a while, officially. You're normally behind the lens. When was the last time?
It was probably back when we were doing
I think your phone's
the Roundhouse. Oh, thanks. Roundhouse podcast where everyone got a shot.
I still hear that coming out, but you're.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, it definitely is. I see what you're saying.
Got it. Yeah. So back when we were doing the podcast at 2.0.
Yes. Yep.
So last we knew real quick before we get it. So here's what we're gonna do today. I want to give everyone. I get off track. Steven's not here to keep me on.
That's fine.
If you're watching from home, Steven, hopefully this doesn't drive you too crazy because I'm gonna go off the rails. But We're going to cover news for Covenant, the industry, and then also all the games and publishers that we work with and support. And then after that, the plan for today is I got my Kickstarter pledge in for Earthborne, which I'm very excited about. And Jonathan and I are going to be unboxing that and looking at it. And then my hope is that we have the time to maybe explore a little bit of deck building / character creation. And I'm actually
my hope too.
Super happy to have you here for that. Because for people that may not know, John has a long history with RPGs.
Yes.
And I think Earthborne is the closest to an RPG for a card game we've had yet.
Yeah. I know that Andrew did a lot of research into the indie RPG scene to develop some of the mechanics, and especially I think it's going to show in the character building, which is really exciting.
Cool. So we will get to that. Before we even get to the news, last everybody knew you were trying to buy land, and
oh wow, yeah, that's
you know, remember that? It was like all the time talking about your land troubles.
Land and my dog.
Yeah. So
still got land.
What's the 2-sentence TLDR on John Woolley's life since, I don't know, 4 years ago?
I have land. I have land still. It's going very well. I have a child, which is going exceptionally well. I have probably my first successful garden ever.
Hey now.
Which has been an endeavor that's built up over the last 3 to 4 years.
What's in your garden?
Right now, just cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and carrots, because it's a fall garden.
Fundamentals.
And my tomatoes are still kicking.
Okay.
Because I don't know why, they have no reason to be alive, but they are, and I love them for that. But yeah, it's been like, it's one of those things where I tried, you know, like anything, right? You try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. And eventually I figured it out.
Yeah.
This is like one of the classic things, which happens to me all the time, which is, you know what? Maybe everybody is wrong, and I'm going to be the first guy to figure this out. No one's ever thought about how to garden like this before, and then it doesn't work. And you're like, someone did think about that, and they decided not to do it.
Honestly, though, it's so tough, because to innovate on anything, like it's the classic, you have to know the rules before you break them.
Right.
But when
people jump that all the time, I'm guilty of that as well.
Yeah, but that's part of the excitement and the experience. But it is really easy. I'm especially younger me was that way a lot, which is like, none of this makes sense. I'm going to do it my own way. And then 16 years later, learned a lot of really hard lessons. And here we are. Well, I'm happy to hear that the land troubles are over.
Land troubles are over. The dog who was having trouble pooping, that's with his whole thing. If anyone remembers from way back in the day, Bogey, still having to give him medicine every day, but he's like old enough now where his joints are loose enough to where he can consume small rodents now without there being much trouble.
I wasn't sure we would get to bowels today, but
if anyone wanted to jump from the last time I was on camera to now,
there it is,
and wrap it up.
All right,
everything.
The hero's journey has been complete. You went through the bottom part of the circle, and we're back up, and now hoping not to become the tyrant. Okay, so I'm going to run down the news real quick.
Yeah, please. Wait, can I say hello to people?
You can, yes.
Yeah, Bobby was saying hello to me. Andrew was saying hello. Lots of people who I've seen. Hello.
Is it the Andrew Navarro in the chat?
The Andrew Navarro
the creator?
The chat. Ben is here. Everybody's here. Hobbies and happiness. Hello.
John Hennon. Thought that was Steven. LOL. It's funny. It's like when you know twins really well. It's clearly different to you, but then other people.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. It's good.
It's crazy how different you guys look in my brain.
My favorite thing is when people think that Steven's the older brother, because I'm like so youthful and full of life.
Like I said, older but better looking. So
hello, Frank. Hello, and I can't remember Berkey. Oh, we're just gonna say Kiwi.
Berkey Kiwi.
Berkey Kiwi. Hello.
Look at that.
Hello. Lots of nice.
C Falcon says, "All right, see you again in 4 years, John."
That's right.
I'm doing my part
every 4 years.
Actually, so we started this Monday live stream thing, which I'm really excited about to be back into it. And knock on literal wood, hopefully we're in the studio soon. But November is like a nightmare for me. Personally, not in a bad way necessarily, but like from a schedule perspective.
Yeah.
So you might be getting to see a little more of John in that time frame too. That's to be decided.
That's
and worked out.
That's right.
But
I could just end up on a lot of these.
Yeah.
I guess this is like the surprise trial run for me. You guys tricked me,
dude. Can you imagine if you and Steven are on two things? People are going to show up and be like, "What is happening?" They've multiplied. The second thing, we'll be able to see the clear difference between the two of you.
If only I could grow hair, then Steven and I could be different. But that's long gone. It's just not happening anymore.
Yeah, but then I'm maybe nervous to be replaced if I'm not careful. I'll be gone for a month, come back, and then it's like, it's just the John and Steven show.
That's right. I'll have to change the title and everything.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
But yeah, so
I would miss all of you dearly, but I wouldn't hurt my feelings.
You've got a Fab event coming up, which we'll talk about in the Fab section.
Yeah.
You've got personal stuff coming up, which we'll talk about in the personal section or not at all. And that's it.
Is there an official section for personal?
No, I think this is the personal.
Okay,
section.
got it. Yeah. All right, so starting from the top, there was something down that I forgot to add for Alpha Clash.
Oh, good.
Which is...
Wait, are we starting with Alpha Clash? Are we doing it?
Well, are you ready to go?
Yeah,
I have the list up right here.
I got to do the things. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's official.
Heck yeah. I love that. So, like, it's funny. I don't want to side trail too much. Short version is I love, like, a couple months ago I showed up to the new warehouse space, and there were the signage on the doors, which had been designed and made by partially you were involved because you're the head of design, but then also the ops team had basically needed to mark which doors for deliveries and where to knock at and all this kind of stuff. But like just showing up and awesome stuff happening is one of the most rewarding things.
Just good stuff going on without you having to be like directly
100%.
observing it.
Yeah, and I mean it goes on all the time, but like just seeing that, I had no idea that was even happening. So kudos to you.
Thanks.
So this weekend there was a tournament hosted by Realm Games.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's going to do the support for the Alpha Clash.
Yeah, so they've been hosting tournaments for Fab for a while, and I know Keith over there, who I believe owns Realm Games or is one of the primary owners. Great team, but they had a live stream up this weekend, which is cool because I haven't really been able to see high level or competitive play for Alpha Clash yet, and it's definitely a heads up competitive game. It's on their YouTube channel if you want to see that. It was just really cool to see that happen. I think it's like any other game though. High level early in a year might look funny because you know what it looks like, but it was just cool to see because I have no idea what I'm doing when I play that game. So to see, it was a pretty big event. Like there was, in terms of the prizes that were on the line, the skill level that was present. So, anyways, if you want to check out Alpha Clash and see like tournament play, it's a good place to start.
Is that something that the Alpha Clash people want to incentivize?
Tournaments?
Yeah, tournaments, big prizes, that kind of thing, or are they trying to keep it more kitchen table, like the sorcery model? Where are they?
Where are they? Yeah. So if I had to place them on a positioning map, there's two, like in business school, that we call them P maps, where they have an X and Y axis, right? And you could have anything be any two factors that a publisher could, it could be a card game or card games and RPGs. Where does it fall on the map or whatever? So it's more, there's a lot of ways to answer this, but the short version is it's a refinement on the category of game that Magic is, in my mind.
Okay.
It is a heads up game. I think it's there's way less variance than a game like Magic. So it wants to be a competitive game that you can play locally or perhaps at like nationals or world championship level. But at the same time, it's more like early Fab, where before Fab had significant financial success, and there was a pandemic, so it was tough. But even when they launched, they didn't have $1 million pro circuit,
right? Which
is only really possible, I think, because of the success Fab had. And I think in Ridge / and they can answer this better than me. I don't know if Ridge is out there watching or not, but definitely a competitive game. But it's not on the level of Fab.
Okay.
It's not. There's not as much. Currently, they're supposed to be unveiling their 2024 OP plan at some point. They've been talking about that on the Discord channel and stuff. So I think they want to be competitive, but it's not going to be as intense as something like Fab.
Like intensely prize driven, intensely money driven, because the pool's not there. Right?
Yeah, on the positioning map in terms of, is this a competitive game and built to be a competitive game and intended by the publisher to experience at like a high level Fab thing? Fab is like really far in the corner of like, yes, this is exactly. Sorcery is like the opposite. And I think they're somewhere in the middle, but it's also less, like Steve and I did the Bright Lights thing last week. Fab has a lot going on. And the week before we played Alpha Clash, and like Alpha Clash is just a lighter, it's not skill based, but like
burn wise,
it's just a simpler system.
So
a little bit of this, that, Sorcery to me is like a total wild card unique game.
The one thing that struck me, kind of a tangent, but the one thing that struck me listening to the podcast, what Ridge was talking about, where he came from and his involvement in card games was like to occupy your mind during the recovery stage for athletes, which is like so fascinating to me. But athletes are still competitive no matter what they do.
They need to be competing at something.
Right, and they need to be competing at something. So it tracks that it would have that sort of high competitive element.
A good example of that, one of my friends I made through Fab. His name's Dalen Mack,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a professional football player.
Okay, wow.
And then he was actually playing last year in like it wasn't the XFL, I don't think, but it was kind of like a secondary league that he was playing in. But he plays card games competitively and approaches it like he does football.
Oh, cool.
But it's also like he's not old by any stretch of the imagination. But in football years, especially because I think he was like a D lineman, they don't last very long. Like you don't see a lot of, mid 30-year-old defensive linemen. Very hard. I mean, football's so hard. But anyways, it was an outlet for him to fill that competitive drive, developing mastery, pursuing excellence in a healthy way outside of football, which is really cool. And he's actually played multiple games because it's like when Fab's in an off season, like he needs something, you know what I mean, to be like. And Fab is all the time, so like hey, he's on a different.
But that's his drive.
Yeah, he's on a different parallel.
Nice. All right, that's Alpha Clash.
Alpha Clash.
So now we're gonna check in with chat and see if there's more Alpha Clash talk that we missed while we were talking, and we're trying this is the second episode of this Monday Night Live or Monday Night Live clearly
Monday Night Live
Monday afternoon live. So we're trying to figure out what we're doing here. Mostly hobbies and happiness. Agreeing with you. So it was a great tournament. Very interested to see what the meta looks like when Set 2 drops, which I think is going to be crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely want to prioritize and incentivize competitive play, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be because the scale and scope of it. Like I felt it with Fab. I played a lot of competitive games.
Really?
Oh yeah, as you're aware. But usually, like in FFG 2010's competitive games I was playing, it was like the winner gets a playmat and to like design a card.
Yeah.
And Fab is like the winner gets $100,000.
Okay. They're attracting a different group of people.
Yeah, and even just the seriousness with which the average person approaches it. When it's once a year and it's a FFG tournament and it's like promos and playmats are on the line kind of a thing. Versus you go to a Fab tournament and it's like I always felt like the last Destiny Worlds were 500 people. Being real honest about it, I think there were probably 40 or 50 people in that room that could win the tournament. The other 450 are like the hopefuls.
Yeah.
And they probably aren't on the skill level, experience level, practice level to do it. In Fab, when you have 1,000-person tournament, I think that number is 500 of those people could win that tournament. And so it's a lot more intense.
Yeah.
And like to get top whatever is a lot harder. So part of it is that there is so much more activity around that game in that lane.
Yeah.
So with Alpha Clash, it's kind of, you see this with games that have kind of smaller prize pools or less events. There's less intensity around it by nature because you, like right now, you could be playing Fab at least twice a month competitively somewhere. Like two of the people on the Wolfpack team that I'm on, Brody and Michael, they're traveling like twice a month.
Yeah, that's where you were like the first time, right? Like there was a time whenever you were traveling twice a month, or at least it seemed like you were traveling twice a month.
I don't know if it was twice a month. It was a lot, and it's been toned down a little bit for me just because it wasn't sustainable with my life. But it's all the time.
Yeah,
it could be happening, and so like. It's just a smaller scale thing, but anyways, still very much.
All right, moving on to our friend Arkham Horror.
Yeah, I saw you add this link. The Week of Horror was announced.
The Week of Horror sounds really cool.
So if you're out there and you have any idea what this is,
please
let me know. No. So it seems like what they're doing is there's a week, and then they have something fun going on to engage with their games or community every day of the week.
Tight.
So like the first one is they reveal a tarot card, and it's like, here's an alternate rule to play your Arkham campaign.
Oh, that's awesome! I love that stuff.
And then
but hold on, Zach. I love that stuff so much. This is where my head's been at for a good little while, which is changing a tabletop game requires so little programming that like you, first of all, two things. One is that a company's engagement through that medium, I think, is probably underutilized. Almost every company is not like throwing out. I think the one thing I was mentioning this, the Power Rangers guys did it for a while, where they had like a monthly challenge. Right, you already got the cards. You can mix them up in different ways. You can say these are +1 now. You can do print and play stuff.
Yeah,
like
I agree, that is underutilized.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the ownership of physical assets allows you to do whatever you want. And I think a lot of people are still really beholden to, well, it's not right unless the company says it's right. And I'm looking at this a lot through the lens of Sorcery, which is just giving you the cards, and trying to push this kitchen table thing, but mostly saying like, the idea of saying like, well, we're going to house rule this. This is our house rule. This is different because we want it to be different, and that's fine. Like that doesn't have to be for a tournament. It doesn't have to be for this or the other thing. But we don't have to go in and change the code. We don't have to know how to like modify and program to change the game that we're playing because it's just cards on a table.
Well, I feel like Sorcery is a good example of. It's a good example why Sorcery is so different because the inherent nature of the game makes house rules okay.
Yeah.
And even just like one set a year, but games that are like Fab, the game changes, the rules change because the living legend hits and a hero hits out, and the meta changes, and then also a new set comes out, and like it's this constant.
And Fab really wants you to get in the stores and play the games and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the game changes too because you have 5 different opponents that have 5 different decks or doing the thing. But if you're playing a kitchen table game, to me, what I mean by that is like you usually play against the same 2 to 4 people. There's not constantly new injections of product happening.
Yeah.
So house rules are a great way to keep it fresh, but also none of you guys are like when I'm playing Fab, I enjoy playing Fab, but I'm also practicing.
Right.
And I'm preparing, I'm trying to master a skill and a moment. And so house rules in a Fab situation. Now it's one thing, it's like, I'm done playing as Icelander. It's like I don't need more of those reps. So it's like that's my house rule is that I'm not engaging in that at all. Yeah, no more or Lexi. But yeah, that's a cool. So with Arkham, when you have cooperative games, like I do think that is like incredibly underutilized. And to kind of point to Earthborne, which is where this is all going, the idea of their like campaign guide and that it can change over time, and so that every time you're engaging and going through this story, it's like there's different tree paths, right, or paths that you can go through in the game. But like even you can have a digital campaign guide that adjusts over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you're starting now, which is a year from when you started the first time.
Yeah.
What's changed in the Valley since then?
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Which is the exact same cards, but like the interaction points are totally different, right? Like one character may not show up in this place anymore, or has gone through some stuff,
right?
Lost their house,
right?
And it's like
has
now
a new
they're
story
like
attached to them, or No, there's like that's the thing. I think that's one of the things that's so easy to do for anybody to do. And really customize the thing that is fundamentally yours in a way the digital game isn't.
Yeah, but just getting to nuts and bolts of it. If you look at a game like Fab, changing the game through new releases is incentivized because that's how they make money in the same business.
That's very true. Yeah,
spending a lot of time giving more value to the things that someone's already bought in a just direct like I'm going to give you a new campaign to use with these old cards is really hard to justify.
Yeah. That's true.
On the business side of
That's
things.
true. That's true. We've got a really good comment from Drawn to the Flame. Very good guys, by the way. But this kind of engagement would really help fill in the now longer gaps between cycles and Arkham as well. So that's a really good idea for that kind of stuff. Yeah. Get people back to that table.
That is definitely... I have felt that on the Arkham side because there's only been the one campaign that came out this year. We used to have monthly... Which makes the community feel different too, because there's not something to be talking about. All the time.
Yeah, we often compare it to like a television series versus a movie versus a cinematic universe, but like to like HBO's idea, which was to put out a show every week, kept that conversation going. Netflix's idea, which is to dump all of it at once, gets everything really hot for a minute, and then dissipates.
Yeah, which they've been walking back from.
Well, I think that's probably a good idea.
Some of the shows, it's like, we'll give you the first 8 episodes of whatever the reality TV show is. And then we're going to give you the 9th episode a week later and the 10th episode a week later or whatever it is.
But there is something there, like on a kind of meta level of what it does to help ease conversation or give people something to talk about or start conversations that eventually always go into deeper conversations, but to give people a seed for the small talk that starts off every sort of a deal. So like if you're seeing tabletop as a way to connect, having those ways to connect that's like something like we haven't talked about this yet, right? Come to the store this week or next week and we haven't talked about this yet. What do you think? That kind of stuff is really cool. So it sounds like that's what Arkham's doing here.
Yeah, but it is interesting. Like I think it's just me getting older and me having games like Fab in my life, they're like all consuming, is I really love, like even movies. Like I would be so thrilled if Star Wars was like, hey, we're going to release one movie every 3 to 4 years and it's going to be phenomenal. That's the only thing we're doing.
Yeah.
I would rather that than have a new movie and two TV shows every year.
Yeah.
But I do get the, like, and I think Sorcery and Earthborne fit this category.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the release pace is way less, and now Arkham, is way less. But also, if you want people to keep engaging with something, like obviously the fear with the game, unlike Star Wars movies, is like when a new Star Wars movie is coming out, Star Wars fans can't avoid it.
Right.
Like it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But when a new Arkham expansion comes out, if you haven't heard anything in 12 months, maybe your Arkham group isn't playing it.
Right.
And so it's a fine balance.
Yeah, it is a fine balance. And you're right. You do see the sort of the tyrant version of that with particularly Marvel and somewhat Star Wars, but like with the cinematic universe being so tied in together, there being so much you need to consume to stay on top of things that it becomes something that like is kind of repellent in some ways. Yeah.
Well, and like the moment you fall behind, it's easy to hop off the train.
Yeah.
And the other part is I think quality suffers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Strictly. Now, it would suffer less if these were truly independent. Like, that's weird. Marvel, not to go on a weird tangent there. Well, we can talk about Champions in a second. But the having everything have to be so linked directly up front, I think is very different than early on. It was like, here's this film, here's this film, here's this film.
Mm-hmm.
All these characters and things we introduced and things we set up are now going to converge.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't unconverged it. It's like it's the continued feeling of it has to be connected.
Yeah.
Instead of like...
Now they're entangled forever instead of just being this one flashpoint. Kind of like a Marvel DC crossover and then everyone goes back to their universe.
Yeah. Because then it's just like this like weird... Everything has to be so directly connected. It's neither here nor there. Okay, next up, Ashes, Blight of Neverset announced. Let me click on this.
Hold on, let's see what if anyone said anything that we're gonna miss.
Yeah, you got to be in my chat, man.
Yeah, I got you. Drawn to Flame continue talking about it. Says it's a lot of pressure on content creators to keep the hype up, which is very interesting and it's a point that we should talk about at some point. But just like when there's nothing going on and you're like, well, I got a podcast.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about something.
Let me tell you, man.
God bless you.
I will say, hey, if you're a community content creator out there, like Drawn with the Flame, one of the best things about podcasting is it's one of the few platforms that doesn't algorithmically need you to be continually engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I listen to Drawn with the Flame every time and you skip 2 months and post an episode, I'm as likely to see it as I was.
Yeah, that's true. It'll just pop it up.
If we stopped posting on YouTube for 4 months, which we did, basically, we are now less likely to be shown to people, even if they previously engaged very heavily with everything that we were doing. So it's the beauty of that format. And if the game's slowing down, like burnouts are real. We lived there early.
Yeah.
We supported a single game up front, and there'd be times like with Mompoc, they went on like a year and a half without putting anything out.
Mm-hmm.
And about 4 months in, you're sort of just like,
what else is there?
I don't know, man.
That's when those house rules
still love the game, but what are we doing here?
Tim Bennett, and then we'll move on to our next Ashes. He says, it's hard for me to feel engaged with Arkham in the same way because it feels like by the time I play the campaign, it feels like everyone has already had all the discussions, which is the downside of having it be a play at your own pace kind of a, everything's got upsides and downsides.
Yeah, strikes and gutters, as the dude said.
Yeah.
But it's exactly like TV shows that, like Netflix dumping the entire season.
And you just like Robert is that way. He will eat everything up in a day, and it's like I'm trying to like eke out 30 minutes. You know?
Well, I prefer. So it drives my wife Serena crazy. She would prefer to watch it all at once. She hates the tension of not knowing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She just needs resolution.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Right. I like to sit with it.
Like to think about it.
100%. Like if I watch an episode and it's like cliffhanger, I like to bask in that all week and like talk to people about it. So I way prefer that format. So I do get logistically from an LCG perspective why 6 different packs and a deluxe of 7 SKUs versus a single here it all is. Logistically makes sense to condense that. But it is interesting to see the community reaction over time now that we're living in it.
Yeah.
And it does feel very different.
Yeah. All right, let's get Ashes up here and see what. Now, this is kind of an old announcement, but it's a good announcement.
So this is from August 29th, so a month and a half ago-ish, almost, seemingly. The Blight of Neverset. So it's just the next expansion.
Just the next expansion, but it's a plant monster.
It is. Yeah, look at this thing. The Blight.
Pretty cool.
And Bleed and Scarlet Seed. These boxes look awesome.
Yeah, they've done a great job.
If you haven't played Ashes, I recommend checking that out. Heavily. We have on our website, there's a bundle, starter bundle. It's an incredible way to try the game. It comes with everything you need to play solo against the first Red Rains expansion. And the Blight of Neverset is continuing that series. Presumably we'll get one for each dice type or die type of these things. And it's cool to see them keep going. But highly recommend checking that out if you're here, because the Earthborne, it's another game that it's very different than Arkham and Champions and Earthborne. It's in its own universe. I still think that whole game is a miracle.
Yeah, the first 5 alone is like a completely different way of looking at games.
Yeah,
on their own.
It means you get to pick your opening hand.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Can you imagine if all games did that? Come on now.
It would be crazy.
It would be crazy.
Yeah. Lost your
thing.
There it is.
Yeah, we've got, so there are some people in the chat asking about when we're going to talk about Earthborne. So we're going to be opening up Earthborne.
Yeah, I got my giant pledge over here.
And honestly, knowing the pace that we go, it'll probably be about an hour from now. Maybe not, but setting expectations.
It won't be an hour. 30 minutes tops. 30 minutes tops. So it's 1:31.
It's 1:31.
Mark me.
All right, so 2 o'clock. Zach, thanks for opening
How about this? At 2 o'clock, we will start.
Opening it?
At the worst.
We'll see.
It's got to be sooner. Let's start cruising through this. We got to
we got Fab coming up though. We got to talk about Fab. We got to talk about Keyforge. We got to talk about Marvel Champions and Sorcery, and then we'll open the thing.
Yeah.
But if you're watching this back, I got chapters on it, so you should.
Well, it's sort of like what we were saying earlier. We're the two people that like to bask.
Yeah.
So we're not rushing through this.
We're slow rollers.
If you're here for the speed of it, turn in on 2 times later because you're not watching this live. That's the truth.
A good idea. All right, so Fab, got a couple of things. First of all, Dallas Calling. You'll be there.
I'm going there this weekend. So if you're going to be there,
he'll sign
give me a high five. I will sign most things, but I don't know of anything. Anyways, it can get weird out there, you know what I mean? Going to the Dallas Calling, it's going to be a good time. You're going to be there. Say hello. I'm also going to Barcelona next month for Worlds. If you're curious, that's going to be.
Dang.
I'm excited about that. Yeah, that's part of my November.
Yeah.
To forget. Yeah.
Dang. Barcelona. I love Barcelona.
Dude, I found a round trip Barcelona flight. $650.
Isn't
that crazy?
The place we stayed at in Barcelona, it was towards the end of our European trip that we went on, and everything is the memories are starting to get.
Who was we?
Steven and Shannon, Brian.
Is this the Euro trip?
That's the second Euro trip.
Okay,
so Steven and Shannon and Brian had such a great Euro trip. They wanted to take Lee and I and do a kind of a similar deal. But we ended up in Barcelona, and the place that we stayed was in this apartment. And I looked at the window, and it was like a cyberpunk deal. It was just it seemed like it was just a corridor of cords and windows. Now that's probably not true, but that's how I remember it. The streets were awesome. The tapas obviously was amazing. Everything was great.
I love tapas.
I think you're gonna really like it.
Just like I like to bask in my shows, I like to slowly consume small portions of food.
There you go.
And a large variety of them.
Absolute favorite of that.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of practice around Fab, but they also announced the Heavy Hitters event, which is going to be in New Zealand in January.
Yeah.
And
it's an event and a set.
This is honestly the craziest thing they've done so far, and it's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Because they're having what they call a celebrational.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Which they're having before the weekend, and this is invite only to seemingly, feel free to seemingly people that are known quantities in the community that have just contributed and done big things. And I think it's kind of like a live streamed, almost like celebrity tournament, where it's notable players or content creators or whatever to promote the game and bring people together and stuff.
People who people will watch.
Exactly, yeah. And then the weekend is they're having a premiere of the next set, which looks awesome. It's Coliseum themed.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And I love everything to do with gladiatorial games and Coliseum. So I'm all aboard. This previous set was all mech, which is my least favorite class. I talked about that last week. So it looks awesome. But
this seems to be not mech.
No, it's anti-mech. But it's a big calling tournament. It's sealed on day 1 and draft on day 2 of the new set that nobody has seen. So you literally open your packs, all cards that nobody's seen.
Oh, not even previews, just
and you're playing in a big tournament. They've done a premiere where it's just kind of casual. You show up and you open packs and then you play and you haven't seen anything. But day 1 is sealed, and then after you have a day of that experience, if you make it to day 2, it's draft. So new limited set giant tournament is peak that would be my favorite. The only thing they could have done that would have made me more excited is if it was team tournament.
He loves those.
Like team sealed, team draft with a new set. I would be, So looking at New Zealand's tough. That is a long trip and it's expensive.
Yeah.
So.
But
yeah.
Marketing expense.
I have been wanting to make an excuse to go to New Zealand because both Legend Story Studios and Eric's Curiosa are based there.
Yeah.
Plus Lord of the Rings, and New Zealand is apparently one of the greatest places.
Natural beauty.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I don't know if I'm going to that or not. We'll see. See how that goes. Yeah. John's
we'll see if we get the character creation by 2. We'll see if you get
But that was really cool. I love seeing that. Another big news for Fab of the weekend. Azalea, Steven's long lost love that he played so much early on, has won a calling officially. So she had 36 living legend points before this weekend, I think, and a calling's worth 100. So she had basically never won a major tournament.
Oh wow!
Until this weekend.
Wow!
And it was quite a surprise. It's not a deck anyone was talking about or thinking was going to be good. And
this is if Steven can hear it. He can hear us talking about Azalea.
He can feel the
charged up. That was the only thing whenever you're going through. It's like, man, Azalea won. When just like out of nowhere, no one saw it coming.
Or
has she been threatening for
since early last year? She has been potentially good enough, but there are decks in the meta that she's really bad for or bad into.
Okay.
And there's a card that came out called Warmongers. I always forget the name of the other part of this.
Is it Recital?
No, that's an older card.
Okay.
Anyways, it's neither here nor there. They're just like is really bad for her, but it's really not seen elsewhere a lot. All that to say, she won. Also, there's a clip of the finals happening, and I don't know the winner's name, but it's when the winner wins, and his opponent reaches out to shake his hand, and like there's just a shot. It's so good because the guy who won is like just in shock.
Oh wow!
And then he sort of like reaches his hand out, and then like he's realizing that he won basically. And then he gets up and he goes over and he's like hugging and jumping with his friends and stuff. And it was just like the perfect encapsulation of, I think it's really easy to villainize competitive. But man, those moments where someone really pursues something, fights through a couple of days of a tournament and succeeds and celebrates with friends. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's just like
that's the one.
That's
just the journey.
It's so good. So anyways, that was really
that's awesome. Oh, I love to hear that. That's really, really, really cool.
It was Justin Q who won. Warmonger's Diplomacy is the card. Jeez.
Yeah. The winner's interview was a delight, very touching. So if you guys are watching that, you should go.
Justin, congrats to you, man. It was amazing to watch, and then to see the aftermath was also really cool.
That's awesome. Very cool. And then just you did find a round the table. Copy around the table.
I did.
Have to bring it out.
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
It exists. Zach has it, so we'll see.
I was forced to buy it.
Oh, poor guy. All right, moving on. We got our friends at Keyforge. Yeah, they had a thing go live recently.
They launched their Gamefound, and it's currently sitting at about $250,000 in funding with 1,028 backers.
Nice. Grim reminders.
Cool to see them rolling on. If you missed it, a couple weeks ago, we touched base with our subscribers. We are no longer offering that subscription. Given that Keyforge is planning to go to crowdfunding for every set, they just kind of live in the same space, and we don't like that.
Neither of them help each other out.
Yeah,
it's not built for helping. It's not built for augmenting crowdfunding. In fact, it's almost antithetical to it.
Yeah.
So, but
100%.
Go check them out. If you're still Keyforging out there. I had my friends, the Blake and Adrian. They on New Year's, they just stayed home and cracked packs all night and just played Keyforge. It's fantastic.
It's a good game, man.
My wife loves it as well. All right, what do we got next? What do we got?
Earthborne, technically, we'll come back to that, right?
Yeah, we'll come back to Earthborne.
Yeah,
because that's going to be our big thing.
Marvel Champions, worth saying. We emailed all our subscribers, but they're about to put out another pair of hero packs, and one of them is Deadpool, which is really cool how they're doing the design of that hero. But they needed to include, I think it's his own pool of cards, like his own aspect almost.
Oh, cool.
But it's $5 more expensive than a standard hero pack. But that game keeps humming along.
But it's got the requisite amount of cards to make that value.
Yes. There's a reason they're increasing the price.
It all like charts out. They're not just like jacking up the price like with Cheerios or anything.
Yeah, and we're automatically handling that on the subscription side. Someone asked earlier if I've played much lately. I have a X-Men campaign going slowly. every 2 or 3 months, I have a group I get together with and play. So we're like halfway through that.
What hero are you playing?
Cyclops.
Of course. I didn't even need to
ask. Yeah. I was forced into it, you know, by my birth.
I did see just, you could get those YouTube shorts coming when I was like, my 10 favorite X-Men. And he was listing all the cool ones. Cyclops was number 1.
Yeah.
Big Cyclops guys out there.
Well, so it's worth, when I talk to people about this, I haven't ever really been super into the comics because I just missed that and didn't have the means or access when I was a kid. In the comics, he's like the best. Yeah. He's like incredible. In the movies, he's portrayed a little bit.
It's easy to push him into stereotypes when you don't have that long to develop them.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's coming down the pipe. $5 more, but more cards, more fun, and more Deadpool, who is really, truly, I mean, he's a pop culture icon now, but before he was cool, I was reading his comic books via my friend who was a big fan, and they're very funny and enjoyable. So then, the last big news item, we're going to hit this 2 o'clock thing today.
I told you we can get there.
I know, I believe now. Sorcery, the Contested Realm.
So it's not in yet.
Is not in the house yet.
We're expecting to have it soon.
It could be soon.
And fulfillment is going to begin. Like, we're not going to start shipping it. So it's going to ship, it comes out November 10th. If you were otherwise on our beta. So if you pre-order beta from us, it's going to start shipping that week. Mm-hmm. And so you'll be getting an email about this and information and all that kind of stuff. But we are expecting to have that soon. All the pre-orders that happen are guaranteed. We're on top of it.
Yes.
And
don't fret. If you order from us, it's coming in.
It is happening.
And I guess that's not a very common thing.
Man, I saw, I don't know who it happened to, but I saw someone post about they had pre-ordered with a store that is now insolvent and going bankrupt.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so it's just like
not even no refund, nothing. Just see you later.
It's just tough. All that saying.
But they were talking on our Discord that if that happens to you, we'll have stuff for purchase. After November 10th.
Yeah, we also we recorded last week a couple of videos.
We did. Oh, I'm very excited about this.
Which it's fortunate we did because Steven was out sick today and maybe this week. And like it's about to be crazy for me. So I was happy that that happened. But we played with the precons.
The beta precons.
Yeah. So if you miss Sorcery, we'll have precons and booster boxes and the 2-player mat in stock on release. Mm-hmm. And if you want to check it out, the precons are incredible.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the new avatars are very, very good. I think they're doing what they should be doing within the element. Like if you like Earth, you're gonna like what the Earth guy does. If you like water, you're gonna like what the water guy does.
I really like the lightning avatar.
Yeah,
that lightning avatar is good.
Yeah. So check out, like, if you want to teach some friends, that's a really, really good way to do it.
Yeah. Russell's saying, was there a studio update yet? We'll come back to studio in 1 second. Mason's saying, Sorcery hype, very excited to see. To have too many games since Sorcery, Earthborne, and another game are arriving from around the same time. We didn't get the stuff in for Sorcery yet, but we did get something in that I want to show. Can we go top down real quick?
Yeah. Hold up. There we go.
This is a worldwide exclusive.
Look at this. You're doing it. I wasn't going to mention it. I thought you were hiding it or something.
No, I just wanted to have it at a certain time.
Look at these guys.
Which we finally got these in, which is the exclusive promo coming with the early pre-orders of Sorcery. And
look at that shiny.
Fantastic. So if you were part of the early pre-order phase, you'll be getting this promo. The standard pre-orders are coming with a Headless Haunt promo, which when we have that as well, we'll be showing that off. I'll post a picture of this to the Discord and on Twitter and stuff. Look at that. It's crazy. Ooh. Looks great. Anyways, wanted to show that. Yeah. Huge shout out to the team over at Eric's Curiosa and everyone that pre-ordered from us. Incredible amount of support. We're super pumped for that game. And as we said, I recorded some content, and we got a lot coming down the pipe for that game. Yeah, it's gonna be very good. I'm very excited about it. The games were good. The betas are good. Teaching people love the game. It's great. Every time I sit down, and I actually play a lot of Sorcery. Probably the most of any game we've had in a long time. Since Spoils, at least. And probably more than Spoils. That's like a decade plus. Yeah, crazy. You know when it gets done. Yeah. And it's just like every time I sit down, it's like, man, this game is just fun. It's good. Yeah. I love it. It's having so much fun. It's doing its thing. Andrew Navarro saying, I'm also looking forward to my Sorcerer pre-constructor. Yeah, you are, Andrew. Exciting. You're going to love him, man. Mason asking, who was it? Russell asking about studio update. So there hasn't, I kind of mentioned it earlier. We're getting very close. He asked if it was going to be here this year. I think we're down to like a week or less or 2-ish I don't know. When you get third parties and contractors, it's crazy.
You guys know the last mile thing? It's like last mile paradox. It's something in postal service or delivery, which is like to get something 90% of the way there is super easy. Like basically 90% of the resources go to moving an object to the last 10%.
Yeah.
And I feel that a lot with design, product design, anything like that, and the studio it's like that. Like the big strokes, the broad strokes are easy.
Makes sense. Like I put a package in the mail and a plane goes from Oklahoma to Oregon.
Right.
With a million other packages.
Right.
And then all those packages go to the sorting facility. After the sorting facility, it's like this has to get on the right truck, and the right truck has to stop at every house in 8 neighborhoods. And like that's a way more complicated piece than getting it from Oklahoma to Oregon.
And it tends to show up in really most things, most creative endeavors, where it's like the last touch, the last is always the hardest part.
One thing I very firmly believe is that excellence is born in the last couple of percent.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Because those are hard.
Yeah.
Like that's usually the difference maker between, even talking about someone winning a fab event, it's like 95% of the prep and time and effort is the same.
Yeah.
And it's the last 2% that makes the difference.
Yeah. And it's also where that last 2% is where a lot of people fall off. For creative endeavors, for anything, like they hit that wall, man. And it's like, oh gosh. I thought I was 2 feet away from the finish line, but you look and you're actually like 100 feet.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with the studio.
Walls are painted.
I'm 2% away from the finish line.
Yeah. Walls are painted.
The studio walls are painted.
Studio walls are painted. The lights are going up at some point, or the rails for the lights are like they were talking about putting them up this week.
The challenge is that
the floor is getting leveled.
There's like a stack of things that have to get done, and there's timing. It's like any project, right? So you have, as an example, the walls can't be finished till the electric and the plumbing are done.
Yeah.
And so, and the ceilings can't be done until the walls are done. And then the HVAC can't be done until the ceilings are done.
I see.
And then you like cascade it down.
Yeah.
So there's just a 1,000 moving parts and pieces, but we're very close. Like the walls are all there. The electric's done, the plumbing's done, the HVAC's mostly done.
It's not happening. It's not going backwards.
One of my beyond just finishing as soon as possible, one of my grandest hopes is by the time I'm gone for November, a lot of November, I prefer you guys not to have to come here to stream. Not that it wouldn't happen, right? But like I would at least like you guys not to have to deal with that.
Yeah. And you have a very lovely house. I mean, I always like walking into it.
Leave it open.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, I'll pass that on to Serena.
Yeah. And for everybody out there, just one quick fact about Zach's house: it smells fantastic. I don't know what Serena's doing every time I walk in.
So she has an incredible sense of smell. I don't.
Okay.
But that makes her very sensitive to bad smell.
I see.
And so, like, she puts a ton of work in to keep it very fresh.
Nice. It's very fresh.
And I get a benefit from that.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
We love it.
It's a great relationship. Very interesting concept, for sure. But yeah, it's close. Hopefully soon, like very, very soon. Honestly, like, there's only so much that needs to happen for us to be in the studio anyway. And part of that is making sure all the noisy stuff's done.
Yeah.
And we also need a ceiling.
Yeah.
And a floor that's little things.
Little things. Sorcery Hype, very happy to have, this is Mason, very excited to have too many games since Sorcery, Earthborne, and another game will be arriving around the same time. My Earthborne is actually out for delivery today. And we're in one of those places where it's like 10% of your packages disappear. Not a lot, but enough to like keep you on your toes.
It's called Bristow.
Especially around
all the way in Bristol.
Yeah, because we live right next to public land, and so there's hunters coming in and out. And if they didn't kill a deer, well, at least they can bring something home. I don't know anybody's logic for it, but sometimes our packages disappear. So hopefully, I get home in time for that. Looking forward to pre-construction. You talked about that. That was Andrew. Crocodile holiday stream in the studio confirmed. That was Brett.
I'm not the content guy. I just work here.
Sure. Let's do it. I do like those Crocodile holiday streams. I also like the Nightmare Before Christmas streams.
I like both of those things too.
Why not? Yeah, why not both? Porque dos. I love Sorcery. Definitely my top games of all time. Excited for my Sorcery pre-con from you. I haven't opened the Kickstarters yet, knowing beta is on the way, and it's excruciating, says Andre Rodriguez. And then, of course, Larry. Interesting concept for sure. Did we do it?
We did it, yeah.
Is it 2 o'clock?
10 minutes to spare.
10 minutes ahead.
What do I get? Do I get a biscuit?
Yeah, you get one biscuit.
So, Earthborne update. I got my pledge in, and we're going to be unboxing that. And if you're unfamiliar with Earthborne, We have all the products we're going to be looking at today, I think all of them, available for pre-order on our website. So Kickstarter fulfillment's happening right now. I see people getting shipments all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to take another week or two.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, we're going to get everything that we are going to get, which includes all the pre-orders, and those are going to go out. And those will be available through our website as long as they're available.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to dive in?
Yes, I am. I just want to say that, like, I really am trying so hard not to buy at least the map, if not the lore book. But I'm worried if I see it, it'll be problematic.
Well, I will consider it a great victory today if I convince you through this opening that it's worth it.
It looks so good every time I see it. Wow, look at that. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, you want to give me a top down? Look at this thing.
Yes, I will. I'll give you a top down, and then while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up some the Earthborne stuff so we can, if we get to the cards, we can show them.
Excellent. Well, this is what happened. And then Steven texted me and said, hey, can you not open it? We should open that on stream. I was like, sure. And then he sent me a picture of his being open and organized. I was like,
got him.
Come on, dude. Just kidding. I was happy to do it. I'm just going to start peeling stuff out and unboxing this. Good little quality control check for Andrew, too, because he gets to see it live. All right.
Yeah,
so
there's actually probably pretty good research. Not many people get to live watch their product getting.
There's this envelope that has stuff in it. What else is in here? Oh, I didn't expect that. Okay. So it looks like some cardboard dividers of some sort. And instructions. Thank you very much for purchasing first printing of Earthborne Rangers. Whether you're a Kickstarter backer or you're purchased your copy afterwards, we greatly appreciate your support. Late in production, we discovered two things that we felt needed to be addressed before the game could be released. One, the punch board had been misprinted. And two, the box inlay needed additional pieces to make it structurally sound. To rectify these issues, we reprinted the punch board and created new pieces for the inlay. Each copy now comes with a second full sheet of tokens and 4 constructible cups designed to reinforce the inlay. Total token count, etc. Okay, so there's like the inlay that goes in the box to store all your cards.
Yeah, it's got all your
and they
instructions
send
there.
some stuff, and then of course cardboard tokens.
Nice. It would also be cool if there's anyone out there that Corey just reminded me of this. We can open it together. Everyone can open their boxes together.
It's a group effort.
Yeah.
All right, here, I'll just hand this to you. This looks like the lore book.
Oh, man.
Just pass that over.
Oh, man.
Let's get all these. I'm going to get all these things out so I can get the box
wow.
out of the way.
Oh, and then it also comes with the map.
Yeah.
This is a stroke of genius, Andrew.
The trail map?
Yes.
I was literally...
It's not just a map, is it? It's so good. You guys see this?
Dude, we'll roll that out fully in a second.
My goodness gracious.
So I was showing the trail map to Serena, my wife, and we had recently gone to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, it's tight.
And she was like, oh, that's just like the thing we got at the Grand Canyon. And I was like, yes, it is. And that's so awesome. How cool. But it's like a real trail map with like suggested, like, yeah. Look,
yeah, so this is the map.
This is the valley.
Everyone's seen. But this
it's upside
is
down. So this is like, it's got recommended paths with difficulties and the distance and the duration it's going to take you. And like, it's just so good.
Yeah. This is the kind of research that I love.
Completely unnecessary, but so good.
Mm-hmm. And why not, right?
The Valley Trail map.
Also, Andrew, props to whoever designed all the icons on the map. I was looking at that today when I was going through whatever it's called, the cards. And like the icon for Lone Tree Station or, Northern Outpost, stuff like that. Just
these here?
Yeah, they're so well done.
Yeah, and you see these icons up here, Market Loop and all that kind of stuff.
I just love it.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very good stuff. Okay,
so
that's the trail map.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this for a second.
Yeah, which we do have. This is the core game. I'm just gonna lay it all out. I'm not gonna open it all yet. I believe this is the Ranger card doubler. So I bought this because I'm used to Steven not buying his own stuff.
Got him.
But he did. He bought his own stuff. I'm proud of him for that. What is this?
None of us could resist.
Oh, deluxe wooden tokens.
Ooh, those are good.
We'll take those in a second. Did I order 2 or... So they come in 2 boxes. Anyone out there know? There's 2 boxes of that. These are the miniatures in a miniature box, which makes sense. We'll look at those in a second too. I got a couple play mats here.
Wow, you just bought enough for you and Steven. How did I get on this train?
I was I was literally it's partially that, but it's also just like buy everything because I want this game and this company and Andrew to succeed. So I was just smashing all the buttons. I think I didn't get the like campaign mat. Mm-hmm. Like these are the player mats, but I didn't get the like whatever. Do you have keys in your pocket?
No. Am I jingling?
No. I was just
gonna... Oh, I do have keys, but they're ways away.
Let me
Remember,
I have scissors. Let me grab some
attached.
scissors. Let me grab some scissors. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. I probably shouldn't have said anything.
I die.
Yeah. So if you look at this is on the back here. You guys can see that? You got your predators, you got your hazards, inclement weather. Well, this is a perfect day. The weather in the valley can sometimes be the most significant source of fatigue on your journey. Be sure to replenish yourself by snacking on the delicious fruits and vegetables you discover in the wild, or you can pack your own. Printed from responsible sources. Got all that stuff. This is just so cool. It's just so cool. I love this way of entering the world of the game. I don't know how better I can say it. This is going to be such an obscure reference that no one's going to get, but it reminds me of... Luke Crane put out the Burning Empires role-playing game, or comics. And one of the things they had with it was someone who wrote and it's kind of like your Dune, Space Marines-y kind of a thing. But someone had basically rewritten Machiavelli's The Prince, but as it would be written in that world. And I love that kind of stuff. Just love it. And this hits me in the exact same spot.
Yeah, it's like a real trauma.
Where it's like almost like a secondary source talking about the world. I think that's awesome. I just think
it's that level of just care.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It's so good.
All right, this felt like the appropriate next step. Let's get these out. Just put them down so we aren't looking at just the table. So these were can you move that book a little
bit? Justin asking, when do you stop taking pre-orders for this?
For Earthborne?
Yes.
So our plan is to take pre-orders until we either have it in hand, in which case they're just in stock on the website. And then at that point, it's a matter of when we run out of what we've got. There's not an infinite supply. We're already out of a couple things. We might have some more of those to go in stock once we physically get everything in. We're being a little conservative in case things got lost or damaged along the way. But so some of that stuff, like I think the miniatures are out and a couple of the playmats are out. So if we have any extra, those will go in stock at some point. But then basically until we're out is the answer.
Sorry for the frame rate drop, guys. Let's get back in a moment.
So I want to open up these tokens. So these are the deluxe wooden tokens, which we do have in stock. Or I guess in pre-order stock. Look at these. Ready for this?
Yeah, no, I love it. I love the feel of this.
I love wooden dice, man.
Yeah, it's really cool.
They got the little custom symbols on there.
Mm-hmm.
Got the various colors. I know I bought two because you need to if you're going to have two players.
Oh, there you go.
And I just assumed we'd have two players without any things, you know?
I think that's fair.
I'll leave this one sealed for now. So those are the deluxe wooden tokens. We got the doubler. Let's look at these miniatures real quick. I've been dying to see this.
Yeah. Steven talked very highly about those.
Did he get miniatures?
Andrew, whenever Andrew came last time, he brought some miniatures for us.
Ooh.
I like the shininess of that. Also, it just reminds me of that old D&D stuff.
Yeah, these are like metal. I assume pewter. That's the old classic thing. Miniatures were super cool. There's a map in the game. So, of course, you need to have your character that can bounce around the map. What was I supposed to do? Not get those?
Right?
The answer is absolutely get them. That's what we have to do.
All right. Just go here.
Andrew Fisher is saying playmats and miniatures are out at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, well. So, okay, there you go. Playmats, these, and these. Dang.
I think
Sorry,
so.
Guys.
There will be more opportunities to get at least playmats, I think, in the future. I don't know that the miniatures are going to happen again. So that's is what it is. You can only make so many of those. That's a hard thing. So this is the saw that. Did you see the lore book? Can you bring that lore book?
Yeah, bring that lore book back over. I'm almost done with my business here.
Let's just take a quick peek, shall we? I'm not gonna, fully show all of it, but give you an idea. I had a copy of this. We had an early copy. And I read through it. It's very good. I really loved reading, and obviously all this art is great. But I love reading this early Create an Earthborne section, which just gives you a look, and it has some of these sketches that Andrew and the team were doing of the early world and kind of what they went through to get to the completed product, right? It's really cool to read that. And then the history of the valley and like I don't know who did all this style of art. This is one of my favorite. Have you seen these?
Oh yeah, no, I absolutely love them. I absolutely love it.
Just killing.
Yeah.
And this is, just for context, looks like 100-ish, 95, 100 pages. Look at this sketch at the very back. I haven't seen that yet. Look at that. I'm halfway through the lore book. This also is available currently. I'm going to take this trail map from you. Put it in here. I didn't know I was a lore book man until I was. It started with Fab sent a lore book and Skytear sent a lore book.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now, if you are getting this at some point and opening it, I've been told if you try to peel the sticker off, it can really mess with your box. And part of that is because of the materials used and the lack of plastics used. So this, apparently, you could bury this box and it would fully...
there it goes. See you later.
What would you call it? Decompose?
Decompose, yeah.
Which is not typical. Most products in the industry are, as Andrew, I think, described it in Discord, embalmed in plastic.
Which is a great adjective or verb, I guess.
Yeah, very few times you can use the word embalm and it'd be accurate.
Embalm, entomb, something like that.
All right, so let's scout this thing out. I've been waiting on this moment for a long time. I posted on Twitter about this. Sorry, X. I posted. I didn't tweet. I posted on X about this. But Andrew visited, and I've spoke with him a lot in the early days as he was branching off and doing his own thing. But there was a time he visited, I think it was right before the pandemic started, and he had these sketches in his sketchbook, and he was just kind of painting this picture of, this future world, future Earth, that was actually optimistic and hopeful. And he had all of these kind of crazy ideas and sketches. And so to see it go from that to physically having it here in my hands, really remarkable. And like, just to know, so I met Andrew back in, I guess 2012, 2013, the FFG World Championship.
Yeah.
He came up to us and was complimenting us on our videos.
Actually, hold on. There's a story that no one remembers except for me.
Hit me with it.
Which is
we have John on.
Very first Worlds that we ever went to. And unfortunately, this story I only remember because I was terribly awkward to Andrew, and luckily he doesn't remember it either. But it was just a thing in my head. But we were demoing Netrunner before we knew anything about it, and demo went well and all that stuff. And we were like, "Well, what do you do at FFG?" He's like, "I'm the art director." And I was like, "Oh wow, this art is really cool. That's And he's like, "Well, I just direct the art too." I was like, "Oh yeah, well this icon is really good." He's like, "Well, I didn't do the icon." I was like, I'm just trying to really.
I'm just trying to compliment you, dude. You did good. It
was great. I mean, obviously the art direction was fantastic, but obviously it was someone who I recall being Andrew's build before we knew who Andrew was.
Yeah.
Who was the art director at FFG? So it must have been Andrew, but I don't even think he remembers that.
That's amazing. But yeah, to see him go from back then, which is art director, he eventually was head of studio at FFG, and then he left, I think, head of studio at FFG December 2019, and then branched out to do his own thing, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And so not only has he successfully delivered this game after years, to do that in the middle of the pandemic is remarkable. So Andrew, to you and your entire team, kudos for even just getting here.
Yeah.
I am very optimistic this experience will be fantastic, but it's just even getting to this point, I think, is a huge success. A couple comments coming in. So Corey DeVore is saying, artist for the moment art, which is the thing I was pointing out with the cool coloration, is Wayne O'Connor. He's great. And then Corey says, I did color treatment on those.
There you go.
Corey was involved.
Oh, tight.
Yeah. Miguel saying, World of Android is another fantastic lore book. I haven't read that.
It's great.
Let me find.
I'm catching up here. Catching up too.
Yeah. So anyways, it's just very cool to see someone take some ideas and do something, and not just something.
Not just something.
A very inspired something across the board, which we'll see as we're unboxing this.
Forging, there's something to be said about doing something because that's hard enough, but doing something against most odds and that hadn't been done before. Forging a new path there was a lot of pushback and a lot of nothing was you had to build your infrastructure to even make it. So not only making the game, which stops a lot of people, but then producing it in a way that would have stopped even more people.
Just choosing the most challenging way possible. Yeah. I mean, it would be almost like opening a game store without selling Magic Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon or 40K.
There's a reason they were friends.
Yeah. But really, though, it's like chose a very challenging path to try to help build that future he was envisioning, right? And like all these stories were being told of post-apocalyptic humans failing instead of humans uniting to solve the problem. Doing his part basically. But it's cool to see someone taking that stand, and then even just from a cooperative card game standpoint, like having a game that is not about killing things or beating the enemy, or that is about exploration and optimism and being in the moment, right? And enjoying the surrounding and the people in front of you, and then being appreciative for what we do have. I think it's easy to take a pessimistic view on the world, and it's cool to have this kind of shining light come through amidst all that. And I know the millions of things that were between the early sketches and now, and like it's so hard to describe what's involved in creating something like this. And Andrew would never. He's way too, I think, and maybe he's not, but I think he's too humble to actually really go into the trials and struggles that go into it. And I just catch glimpses of it, right? And it's really impressive. So kudos to you and the entire team. Very excited about this.
The book I'm reading, that's awesome, by the way, because when I get mine, I'm actually going to put it in my garden. It's a great weed blocker. Yeah, all my tomatoes right now are like there's a little hole cut out, and they have cardboard over them instead of mulch to keep the weeds down.
Nice.
Because I don't want to weed, but you can just throw that in there, and
I too do not want to weed.
Keep my cabbage.
So check this out. These cards are paper wrapped, which is notable, right? Because like most games I've ever opened, this would have been sealed in plastic.
Right.
Literally would have a layer of plastic around it.
Yeah.
The material itself would have been made in such a way. That was one of the things he told me early on about making cards that was interesting. Like most card games, while the cards are made of paper, the core or the way the plastic is in them makes them effectively not recyclable.
To be 100% honest, that is my absolute favorite innovation of all of the stuff.
Yeah, you could bury all of this,
recycled.
And then they would eventually disappear from Earth.
Because he's right, like especially in games that have a lot of pack openings, a lot of commons, like that kind of a thing, eventually you're just ending up just with all these plastic cards that can't go anywhere. Crazy.
C. Falcon saying the Earthborne podcast actually covers a lot of the challenges. Great listen. Yeah, definitely. They do Playcast. They do have a YouTube channel. And then they have their podcast, which I think is, if you're into all this, it's worth listening to. But I would bet if you listen to that, the reality of the struggle compared to what's being transmitted isn't 1-to-1.
Right.
Like you might be getting a peek into it, but it's crazy. Anyways, I just have mad respect for actually making this happen. So here's all the cards, which we'll open up in a second because we're going to be doing some deck building. Let's just see what else in here. This is the lure of the valley. Lure of
the valley. Yeah,
that's a funny word.
Lure. Well,
like if you look at that word and just say it enough, lure.
There's a few words that I can't say without an Oklahoma accent. Barbed wire being one of them.
Barbed wire.
Yeah, and lure is another good one. You can't say it.
Bar Shimada. Oh, buddy. All right, so this looks like a campaign book, which makes sense.
I mean, you got this on the back too. For those.
Yeah, honestly, I appreciate that people put that kind of thing on the back. I would never ever write on the book like that.
Right, and they have a digital. I was in the Rangers DB last night. Looks like there's a digital.
The Rangers DB.
Yeah, man.
He's in deep. This is a smaller version of the map. It's not the trail map, but it is the valley, as it were. Someone had a question. Dylan says it's like Arkham, but hiking. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the key differences, though, is like Arkham is there's this looming doom, and it's a race against the clock. And you're expected to fail. It's like a fail.
And you're also expected to murder everything in front of you, by and large.
There's a lot of murder involved.
There's a lot of murder.
Which is cool. Arkham's one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
So
well done.
But the vibe here is like the complete opposite. It's like take a stroll, eat some trail mix, solve some problems, help someone get across the water. Like it's like
eat some trail mix and solve some problems.
Like it's like going on a hike, which it has its challenges, but it's way different than solve a murder and don't die, and also defeat the Cthulhu threat at the end, right? Which is a very different. I think is this the rule book? Holy smokes! This thing is dense. It's 48 pages of glory here. Look at that. Feel that. That's a heck of a rule book.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it all feels very nice.
Feels very good.
These are more the inserts,
Ooh, that's cool.
and the tokens. Which my plan with these is to bury them in my backyard and check on it in 3 years and see if Andrew was lying to me. How many years would it take for this to decompose? Asking for a friend.
I don't think it would take that long.
Just
it depends on.
That'd be fun. Can we do a? Should we do a video?
Like put it in the thing with the worms and see how long it takes.
Yeah, there's literally how long is the box there? Anyways, it was gonna be hard for me not to have this box up on my shelf. I won't use it for storage, but it would be fun to take one of these and bury it and see what happens. Just saying. No. Mason, very curious to hear about the eco cardstock. Yeah, we'll get there in a second.
Yeah, I'm
Andrew
very
says
curious about it too.
Compost them.
They'll go faster.
How for people at home who don't know what that means or how it will work.
Okay, so
how would that work?
So basically, compost you can do it a number of ways, but the basic idea is that you have a compost pile that is a habitat, basically suited to be a habitat for microorganisms, and their job is to break down stuff. And they generate heat, and the heat breaks it down, and basically you go in there and toss the pile to help stuff move around every once in a while, and then it basically will take your food waste, banana peels, box of Earthborne, and make them into very good soil in, I don't know, I've heard anywhere from 3 months to 6 months, depending on the heat, the water, the turning, those kind of things. The composition of it, because you have to have enough green stuff and enough brown stuff.
Huh.
Or
that machine you were looking at.
My wife, I have it.
You have the machine?
Yeah, my wife and I have a Lomi.
Will the box fit into the machine?
Yeah, we have to tear it up, but yeah. And it's called a countertop composter. It uses a little bit of electricity, but basically introduces heat and a stirring element. Stirs everything up, and in like 12 hours, it would be soil.
In 12 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Now that would be a fun content.
Yeah. I'll do it, man. I'll do it.
Interesting. Alejandro, so I shouldn't sleeve the cards right. Zach says only use paper sleeves. So I think about sleeves to me, yes, they're made of plastic. I acknowledge that. Mm-hmm. But they are reusable.
Almost infinitely reusable.
Almost. They do eventually get grimy. I would be curious if there's a solution to that.
You can make plastic out of
even just is there a way to clean it or to make it into something else? Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so one thing I do when you play a kind of linking back to an earlier topic, a big fab tournament, your sleeves have to be unmarked. Mm-hmm. So after you use sleeves for a couple tournaments, it doesn't take long for there to be like a corner that's bent or a scratch on one or whatever. So I always de-sleeve my competitive decks and put them in my reuse these file.
Okay.
And then I use those for all my dead games or all my games that don't care about competition.
Oh, nice. Look at that. So. I really like what you guys did with the weather cards, by the way. I was looking at those last night, too. Have you seen them?
Oh, my goodness. I have not seen them.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them on paper. I want to see them in my hands. All right, let's open these things. Okay, so...
I'm actually super curious to see how these cards feel, because if they feel fine, then there's no reason everybody doesn't do this. There's also, for people who aren't like Zach, there's a tab back here that you can just pull.
That's a classic me. So there's some pile of these that we really shouldn't look at. All right. And Andrew, even when I get there,
these are the path cards, so I'll pretend that these are them.
So these are attribute cards.
These feel fine. There's no difference at all. Are you kidding me?
Well, let me feel them. There's a difference. There's for sure a difference.
But it's not like a holding a paper bag or anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. But this is... But what I'm saying is, I would not know that this did not have plastic inside of it.
Yeah, it's definitely
if you were to tell me that.
It feels more papery.
Yeah, I don't get that. I'm not as my fingers are not as attuned to.
Yeah, I do this a lot. I definitely think there's like a physical. There's definitely a difference, but personally, I will sleeve these, so
doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
But yeah, for me, as a person who doesn't know anything about this, these do not feel any different than any other cards.
I would not feel bad playing with these. Chris Gilbert saying hi. How are you guys doing? We're doing good.
This is fantastic. I can't believe you did this, Andrew. This is insanity.
Look at that. I love that.
Yeah, there's no reason. Your mileage may vary, but there's no reason to put the plastic in the cards at all.
So
this is crazy. These are rewards. Don't look at those.
Rewards.
Yep.
So don't. What about these attribute stacks?
Those are fine. Yeah, we'll be building.
Okay, I'm glad you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Feel free to open these and help me figure out what we're doing, because we're gonna try to build some decks here. It's going well, Chris.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew. I would love for something that could be at least compostable. At least, like, even industrial compostable would be something for card sleeves. But yeah, this is crazy. The quality of these cards is... I thought it would be like... I thought it would feel like cardboard. None of this stuff feels like cardboard. This all feels fantastic.
Now, let's see. I'm going to
sort you guys, you'll find out.
Common test, that looks...
These are all the player cards here.
What are these cards?
Path cards.
So don't look at these.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Let me take a look at those. I've already seen everything anyway. Yeah, these are the stuff you'll encounter on the path. This is so cool.
Here's the various common tests.
I cannot believe this.
Here's the lingering injury cards. So those will be, I'm sure,
so these are all here.
Not far behind. Mason saying, thank you for the card stock review. Awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, as someone who's handling cards all the time, there's certainly a difference, but
it's not. Would you even say it's like a? I don't even think it's like a. It's even if it's different, it's not worse necessarily.
Yeah, it's
great.
It's hard to explain, honestly. But I don't think it's.
Have you seen this stuff yet?
At all.
Have you seen these double-sided ones yet?
No.
That's gonna blow your mind.
All right, can you pull this up, White Sky?
No, I can't. But you could imagine if I could.
What can you pull out? The player card?
Only this stack.
Look at this. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
Yeah, isn't that cool? All of them are like that.
Man, I love maps.
You guys can see this all right?
You aware of that? My map passion.
So cool.
Gage, hey all, hope all is well. Just hopping in before continuing with some work. What type of game do we have here? This is Earthborne Rangers. It's a cooperative, solo, multiplayer card game set in a hopeful and optimistic future where you live in this valley, which I think is technically in Colorado, and you act as rangers where you go around and help people and enjoy life and nature.
Yeah, it's and the other thing that you could probably describe it as is sandbox. It's like a sandbox game. There's no set path. There are things to do and missions that pop up and random encounters that happen, but you're going and doing, and you'll be driven either by missions or your own curiosity, which is crazy that this kind of a game can exist in this form. Plus, all the stuff is biodegradable, including the cards, which is absolutely amazing to me. I mean, really, truly amazing. I am blown away by this. This is awesome art. Holy goodness gracious! Look at this.
This is the fractured wall. There's a tall piece of art. This is like 3 different cards that they put this on.
Goodness.
Which is cool. These are locations. We're not supposed to see all these yet.
Oh, okay.
We gotta go see them.
Yeah, we gotta go see them
in our mind's eye.
To see them.
So what's this?
Those are all the things that we can get.
These are the player cards.
Those are player cards, and those are not reward cards.
These are rewards.
Those are rewards. Yep.
And these that I just opened
are also player cards.
So they go here.
Yeah. Yeah, those are things we can look at.
And then these, which are the backgrounds, they'll have this card back. I assume we will use in a minute, which is interesting.
Oh, hey, let me get you your weather cards.
There's a bigger stack of these, right? Where's the rest of these?
I got them over here.
What is this?
Weather.
A perfect day.
Look how good that looks.
Oh, a perfect day.
You guys see that? Just nailing the style. Someone must have some art director experience.
A downpour. My goodness. What's an electric fog?
You don't know until you get it.
Sounds like a good band name, you know what I mean? And then the howling winds. Look at that. I don't know about you, but I like perfect days. Can we live here? What's Southern California before a climate apocalypse? Okay. These are great.
Yeah, these are great. So these are different cards, but the same kind of deal. Because I think you draw one, and then
these
are the dividers.
Are the dividers? Someone commented on that. Smart. Very clever. Okay, I'm gonna put these here. We have these.
Here's our
so this is instead of like a die roll, right? This is.
It's kind of serves the same function as the chaos bag in Arkham.
Yeah. So basically. A lot of times you're taking one of these 4 tests, which are awareness, spirit, fitness, and focus, and then you'll draw one off the top and get a modifier based on the kind of test you're doing. And then there's an icon on the bottom of a lot of these that triggers that icon on the table. So that's what gets things to happen. So every time you test, things can happen on the board as well. Very, very clever mechanic. Now, hold on a second.
These are all missions, by the way.
Hold on.
So just FYI, just for people out there who are wondering. So this is a mission, just straight up, that you may wander upon. But it's just called Journey. You must venture to a specific location to progress the story. Arrive at the attached location. So once you achieve the thing that's highlighted, read the part.
The entry in the camp, the book.
And there's a whole bunch of them, as you might
these
imagine.
cards that all look the same have different backs. You know what that's about?
I can't say that I do.
So this stack here doesn't have the icons on the bottom. This one does.
Yes. So these are drawn because I know this icon triggers the stuff on the
You know what this is? This is your starting stats.
There it is. You got it. You got it.
So it's all the different combinations.
This dude's got it.
I believe. And all these probably add up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 8. 3, 4, yeah, 8. That's what it is. Good. So you basically, we'll get to character building in a second. Found it.
Oh my gosh. Are we going to do this part? This is crazy.
The deck building?
Golly.
We are. So I have this card doubler so that we can all operate without interfering with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just kind of losing my mind over here. Look at this. You pick your specialty.
Yeah,
that's got the cool art and the description of stuff.
Can you get to the how we build the deck phase?
Yeah. I guess I should probably oh no, you're giving me responsibility.
I am.
I just make the cards happen. Creating a ranger. To start the campaign of Earthborne Rangers, you build your own custom ranger character. You'll bring all the cards you need together in a way that tells the story of who your ranger is, how they spent their formative years, and what specialized training they've received before they completed their trials, rites, and ceremonies that welcome them into the service of the Rangers. If you're starting with the prologue, you'll create a character as part of that process. But if you're jumping right into the game, you can follow these steps and create your ranger. Important to note that Andrew said in various places that this game is also designed where people can jump in and jump out, which is also very cool.
I love that. So I could be playing solo, and then John comes over.
Yep.
It's like, hey, join me for a couple days on the trail.
I make my artificer or my whatever, and away we go. So yeah, we're just going to do it. We're not going to read the prologue. We can do that on like a larger thing. We're just going to, like, as if your friend had just shown up in your house and wanted to make a ranger, we'll do it that way. So what we're going to do is, I'll do the quick version, then we can go into it deeper. But choose your aspects, determine your personality, choose your background, choose your specialty, and choose your outside interest and also your role, I believe. Although it doesn't say choose in front of that. Your role represents what you specialize in and what function you serve in your group of rangers. Your role gives you a card that starts every game in play and grants you a consistent, repeatable ability. Very cool.
Let's do this.
Oh, additionally, each specialty includes 2 role cards. These roles do not go into your deck, but start in the game in play and offer you a special repeatable ability you can rely on. Select one of the roles for your ranger.
What's an example of roles? What am I looking for?
That's a really good question, my friend.
So there are.
So it should be in the specialty. So artificer.
Oh, I see. Hold on. So on the bottom left here, can you pull up the player cards?
Yes.
Is there insightful attribute? Card number 1.
Here we go. Oh, I gotta do this thing.
Okay, so this.
Where is it? Come on back. There it is.
Andrew Fisher saying true solo was a priority during design, and Andrew did all of his testing true solo.
Yeah, true solo, not like two-handed JK, but like real stuff.
So on the bottom left, it says personality 1 of 16. So these are personality cards.
Got it.
Which I think all of these are. Yeah. So this is the personality type. Let's put these guys over here.
Okay. Yeah. We can pick those later.
Yeah. So this is personality, which we're not to yet. And you said, it says down here, like explorer?
Yes. So explorers, we're doing this like the most backwards way possible, but that's okay.
It's okay. I'm just trying to
explorers are specialties. So that's part of the specialties.
So what are we picking right now?
We need to pick our background and then our specialty. Right. First of all, our personality and then our background.
So personality first.
Personality first.
So that's here.
This. Okay.
So
first...
The real Earthborne experience.
First, we choose our aspect. Let's just Ranger cards. Ranger cards are broken down. This is what we're asking. I read it from the back to the front. Personality cards, background cards, specialty cards, malady cards, and reward cards.
Okay.
You can set aside all the rewards and malady cards for now, which we have done.
That's the rewards. Let's see if the maladies are over there. Yeah, I see where it says reward here.
I got them.
Okay, yeah. So the rewards and maladies.
Yeah, lingering energy and injury. Goodness gracious.
Lingering. Okay.
Injury.
So, Traveler, Explorer, Artificer, those are all.
So, Side Hatch says probably ought to do the prologue, which walks through deck building as a story.
Okay, let's just do it.
Okay,
Are you down to do it?
I'm down to do it, yeah, man. So let's go ahead and remember placing each set of these in its own pile to keep them organized. So that's what we're going to do together.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So that basically, hold on, that's
something you've already done?
Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so we each have a stack of the same exact thing.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to.
Okay, I see what you're doing now.
Divide out. But
we're both helping so hard. We're getting each other's way.
What's this?
These are the path cards.
So, as an example, let's just make these stacks real quick because this is interesting. So it's Traveler, 2 of 9. Oh, they're different colors. What? Interesting. So why are there 2 Eagle Eyes and 2 paths we've run before? They're numbered the same.
I do believe that is like you have 2 in your deck kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
Now that is just what I believe, and I have no way of knowing that to be the truth.
So there's Traveler.
There you go. Yeah. See, they're like a smashing together kind of a deal.
Yeah, which I love. So
okay.
And Shepherd. You want to divide yours too?
Yeah, you're killing it now. Yeah, now we're killing it. Now we're doing it.
Oh, it's a good boy. Look at this. How are we not choosing that?
See, I got one of those.
A sheepdog? Yeah, look at him. Come on.
We can all look at the dog while you and I sort cards.
Forager.
All right, so the Traveler. So on this side of the card,
yep,
it says what, and we just basically anytime that name changes, we start a new pile.
Yeah. Okay. Now I found roles.
Great.
2 roles. Explorer. Oh, there's 2 roles within the Explorer.
Mm-hmm. That's my understanding. I picked the right day to start streaming, man. This is great. I'm very interested in this.
I told you that I was happy to have you here for this. Okay, great. Dude, this is so cool. So the roles are divided by these roll cards like this.
Okay. Oh, the pretty picture ones.
Yeah.
Got it. It's coming together.
Didn't know we were going to make it.
We just had to scramble at the beginning there.
That's how as you saw me opening the package earlier, that's how I roll.
Yeah. And it's like I was talking about whenever I was starting gardening too. Like,
get your hands dirty, man.
Just go crazy. Just because I think there's a lot of people out there who really worry about doing it right, and that stops them from doing it at all.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm too far on the other side where I don't care about doing it right, and that stops it from being successful. But eventually, you get there because experience is what's important.
And Navarre says, as long as you guys feel comfortable with the rules, the prologue is great. Otherwise, proceed at your own peril. LOL. And then Tim says, I can't express how happy I am to see that you can pet the dog. Mr. Frog says, surely they can handle the prologue after having played the demo a few times, especially with 2 Andrews on hand. And then Andrew says, that was 2 years ago. We're going to figure it out live. Locator saying Zach and rules, ... All
right, what'd you do with this stuff? Somehow I got turned around. Oh no, okay, we're good. I'm fine.
Yeah,
here, let me hand.
Let's hold that for a second.
Okay. I know what's happening.
Now the real danger is begun.
Someone handed Zach the rule book.
Let's
just peek at that prologue.
Oh my goodness.
I know it's all great in there.
You know what? It's been a while since I need the butter mic back when we would read for.
You can just whisper into your chest since we have the lav mics now.
Whisper into your chest. Interesting. Okay, let's just read this front page real quick.
Okay.
This is an invitation to explore. When I was young, I lived in a rural community in southeastern Wisconsin. Is this Andrew? Is that hand signed? No, it's not hand signed. It's signed though. I lived in a rural community in southeastern Wisconsin, and I spent most of my days playing in and exploring the woods that bordered our small neighborhood. I remember discovering a massive ant hill in a clearing and watching the ants march in orderly lines up and down its slope. I remember a meadow carpeted in vibrant green grass, and beyond the meadow, there was a graveyard of old farm machinery. An ancient tractor and harvester bathed in sunlight, rusting out as climbing vines overtook them and animals nested within. When I was 9, we moved to Ohio. There we lived near a commercial center, and the houses were densely packed. But there was also undeveloped land nearby, fields and forests I could explore. In a field of tall, golden grass, there was an old barn, weather-beaten and decaying with a dramatically sagging roof and crumbling wooden walls. My brother and I dared to enter, and we ran for our lives when we were chased away by the owl that lived there. In the years that followed, the wild land on the outskirts of our neighborhood was cleared. Farmland, fields, and forests gave way to roads, foundations, and drainage systems. So instead of woods, I explored houses under construction and crawled through an ever-expanding maze of concrete drain pipes. Over the years, my family and I have gone on multiple trips to the Rocky Mountains. There, while hiking, I like to imagine what it would be like to live in a world where your only method of transportation was your own 2 feet, where you spent your time walking between settlements nestled in picturesque locations, the spaces between nothing but forest, rock formations, and breathtaking views across verdant river valleys. What if, I wonder, this walk through the mountains was my daily commute? How different would I be because of it? I imagine how much would have to change to make that possible. Earthborne Rangers is our attempt to bring that excitement of exploration and discovery to life in a card game. This is an invitation to explore, to be inspired, and to see this fictional world as if it were real, as if it truly exists just beyond the horizon of the present. We hope you enjoy the experience. Much love, Andrew.
Beautiful.
So, let's find just quick basic concepts that are worth understanding. Game itself, each session of Earthborne Rangers is called a day.
Great.
The entire story is a campaign told over many days. As you play, you'll track the passage of time on a record sheet along with notable events. Games are broken up into rounds, in which you and your fellow Rangers will take turns. Rangers being Rangers of the Valley. Just good context to have. There's a lot there. And you basically, let me see if there's a basic. You take tests, and there's the different kinds of tests we were talking about. Common test found on your reference card that you can perform under any circumstance. That's here.
Oh, so this is mine, right?
What does it look like?
Yeah, this is mine. That's cool.
Yeah. So the common things you can do, you can traverse, you can connect, you can remember, you can avoid.
I need to check out what each of these symbols represents whenever we get there. Because fit test, fit plus...
It's like navigational compass looking thing to traverse.
Mm-hmm. So I think that all makes cool sense once you get there.
Yeah. So fitness, it dictates the color test you're taking.
Okay.
So when you draw from the deck, if you're taking a fitness test, you would modify it by this.
I see.
This stat card here, each character
your
has.
Stat card. Okay.
And you basically start with chips equal to that. So
right.
it'd be 3 fitness. And then those are the we'll get to how the tests work in a second. You can basically spin those to modify your results. The better you are at fitness, the natural score, you have.
Yeah.
But you basically take tests. These are the basic actions you can take. There's a challenge deck, which I explained here, which is what modifies all of our tests. Getting started, we first recommend that at least one member of your group fully reads through the rulebook or watches the Learn to Play video at earthbornegames.com. Then your group has a choice on how they want to play the first session of the campaign. Experienced groups can dive right into the game by creating Ranger decks following the rules on page 32. We'll be skipping there. Then go to entry 1 of the campaign guide to begin your first session. Alternatively, we recommend groups with members new to Earthborne or card games in general play through the prologue. This is a guided game session that will gradually introduce concepts of the game and walk everyone through building their Ranger decks as they play. You can play through the prologue by going to page 2, etc. You will not need to do any prep ahead of the prologue. So it's very smart. So as part of the game and the experience itself, for people like me who like to dive in, they have built, starting on the next page, what's the game setup? Starting at some point, playing the game, where you can dive in that way. But if you've already understand the rules or are familiar with card games, we can essentially skip to page 32.
Oh, that's cool. They did a good job.
Creating your Ranger, which we'll come back to in just one second. So I want to cover the basic stats and stuff really quick. So it has you walking through, the basic setup and stuff of it. Playing the game. Okay. So each session of Earthborne represents a day. There's no limit to the number of rounds in a day. Each round is divided into 4 phases. So we go round until we're done, and that's the day.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 1, path cards. Phase 2, ranger cards. Phase 3, travel. Phase 4, refresh. And I'm going to walk through those really quick. We need to understand the basics of the game to build a deck, right?
Here's the structure.
Yeah. So phase 1, path cards. Each round, the rangers spend more time exploring the area around their current location, discovering new beings and features as they do. Starting with the lead ranger, draw 1 path card per ranger. If the card is marked with a number underneath a book icon, to the right of its name, find the corresponding entry in the campaign guide. So if you see this little book icon, that means there's a campaign entry.
Okay, and that's right next to being these guys.
Yeah. Not all of them are going to have that. You read that aloud, then you resolve any effects that resolve when the card enters play. So campaign first, enter play effects. Fully resolve the effects of each card before drawing. If you need to draw a path card but the deck is empty, shuffle the path discard to create a new path deck. Each path card is marked with an arrow to the left of its name that indicates the area in which it should be placed. A card with an upward arrow is placed along the way. A card with a downward arrow is placed within reach of the ranger who drew it. So if it's got an up arrow on it,
oh, that's tight.
This, you see this on this overgrown thicket, an up arrow, it goes along the way, which is shared.
Okay.
If it's got a down arrow when you draw it, it comes to you. It's like engaged with you, right?
Yeah.
It's within reach of you. So the start of each turn, we each draw a card basically from the deck. Phase 2 is the ranger turns. So ranger turns are the bulk of the game. This is where you'll be equipping your gear, interacting with the environment, and using your abilities to accomplish your goals. During this phase, each ranger takes separate turns. There's no limit to the number of turns a ranger can take each round. You decide as a group which ranger takes the first turn. Following that, rangers can take their turns in any order, unless you're the only ranger still taking turns. A different ranger must go after you finish your turn. So you can go in any order if there's 4 of us, but someone else has to go next, unless you're the only person left doing stuff. You can take a second turn in a row by exhausting your roll card. So you take your turn. You could exhaust your roll card to take another turn immediately. On your turn, you can either perform a test, play a card, or rest. So you get to do one of those things.
Okay.
So performing a test. Tests represent your ranger's interactions with their environment. They appear in cards as an aspect, plus an approach icon, followed by both a thematic and mechanical description of what your ranger does if this test is successful.
Yeah.
You always have access to 4 common tests, which you can reference on the common test reference card. So I was talking about that. Most tests require that you interact with a card in play. When you perform a test on a card within reach, along the way, or in the surroundings, you count as interacting with that card. When you perform a test on a card in your player area or played from your hand, if that test directly affects a card in play, you count as interacting with the affected card. Let me make sure I understand that. Okay. For example, the traverse test can place progress on a location. When you perform that test, you count as interacting with the location. Playing a card. To play a card from your hand, spend an amount of energy matching the card's cost. The number and type of energy shown in the upper left-hand corner of the card. So this has a 1 AWA. Eagle's Eye. Can you pull up Eagle's Eye?
Sure can.
So it says 1 AWA in the top left corner, which it means that it's going to cost you 1 awareness. The card then has an effect based on its card type.
Okay.
There are moments like Homeward Bound. Moment cards describe the specific circumstance under which they can be played in the rules text. When you play a moment, resolve all instructions in the card and then discard it. So it's kind of like an event.
Okay.
Instance.
Got it.
There are attachments. Attachment cards like Surveyed Land are placed in play attached to a card specified in the attachment's card text. Place the card under or to the side of the card to which it is attached and apply its effects. So it's just like you would expect an attachment to be.
Yeah.
Gear. Gear cards have ongoing effects or abilities that you can trigger during your turn. Gear cards are equipped by being played into your player area and stay there until you choose to discard them. Each gear has an equip value range from 0 to 5. So loose leaf tea kit. So it costs 2 focus to play this.
Get back there.
I love that you're doing this live. But then in the top right, you'll see it's got those 2 icons. That means it takes up 2 of your equipment slots.
Yeah. So it's simplified. You have 5 equipment slots, not hand, head, whatever. Just
Yep.
That's a cool way of doing it.
You also have features or beans, like the over the sheepdog.
Okay, get that sheepdog back in there.
Features or beans are ranger cards that function like a path card. When you play these, place them within reach of you and treat them like a path card for as long as they remain in play. Then you have attribute cards like Thorough. Attribute cards have no energy cost. They cannot be played and can only be used for tests.
Okay. And it's got those 2 icons on the side. Do we know about those yet?
So those icons match the test that you're doing.
Okay, it's all coming together.
Rest. If you're finished taking turns for the round, you can choose to rest. You can resolve any effects that resolve when you rest. Then your turn ends and you suffer 1 fatigue for each injury you have. See more about that later. Once all rangers have rested, rangers' turns are over and play proceeds to the travel phase. So path, to run it back down. Path, we each get a card from the deck. Those result come into play and resolve. Ranger turns, we each get to choose perform a test, play a card, or rest.
Okay. Yeah, easy.
Yep. And I think it says.
So the one thing, and I don't, you probably said it and I didn't catch it, but So after I play a card, does it go to your turn, and then you play a card and it goes to my turn, or I do all these things until I run out of stuff to do?
So you can do one of these things.
Okay, great.
Then someone else has to go.
Great. Love it.
Unless someone has opted out of the turn, basically.
Right, by resting.
Which is
like, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all tuckered out.
Yeah. Basically, if I run out of energy and cards I want to play, I have no choice but to rest. And then once I rest, if we were 2-player and you're the only person left, you would get to keep taking your actions. Yeah. It might be that if I'm resting, you only get one more thing.
Okay.
But I'm not.
I'm sure someone will tell us.
Yeah. Phase 3. So is when we would travel. After all rangers have rested, you decide as a group if you'd like to travel. Traveling is how you move around the valley. Each location card has progress threshold on the right side. So you can't pull up the locations?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I will be able to next week.
Aatrox Mountain here has a 5R on the bottom right. I think that's 5 per ranger. Has a progress threshold on the right-hand side. If the card has a number of progress tokens equal to or greater than that threshold, you can choose to travel. It may just be 5. Regardless, if you have enough on it and you get to this after we everyone rest travel phase, you can decide to leave this location and go somewhere else.
Which, if I remember from the demos, is something that we weren't doing enough.
Traveling?
Yeah, where it's like, it's getting hot in here. I guess we have to take everything down. But really, it's just like, it's getting hot in here.
Let's get out of here.
See you later.
Let's see this. And there's subs inside of traveling. You clear the play area, travel to a new location, decide to camp, build the path deck, arrive, set up, etc., etc. Yeah. Then you get to refresh at the end of the turn, draw a ranger card, refill your energy pools, and then ready all cards in play. So any unspent energy, seemingly, yeah. So spend your energy is the moral of this story. Ready all cards, and then your background too. So I just want to walk you through taking tests really quick.
Yeah.
Because I think that's helpful context. Tests are the heart of Earthborne Rangers. They're how you interact with your surroundings and make the world come alive. So first, you choose a test, of course. 2, you commit the effort. So tests can succeed or fail. The more effort you commit to the test, the more likely it is to succeed. Effort can be committed from several sources, listed below. It can be helpful to place all your committed tokens and cards in the play area next to the test you're performing to more easily track your total committed.
Okay.
Commit energy. To initiate a test, you must first commit 1 or more energy tokens of the specified aspect by removing them from your energy pool. Each energy committed adds 1 effort. If you don't have at least 1 energy of the appropriate aspect to commit, you cannot perform the test.
Okay.
So if you're trying to do a fitness test, you have to commit 1 fitness energy at least.
Done.
You can also commit approach icons. The approach icons listed in the test represent the ways in which you are approaching the situation and the methods you are employing. There are 4 approaches. This is conflict.
Okay.
The little
conflict.
Yep. There's reason, which is the triangle looking icon.
Reason. Cool. Okay.
There's exploration, which is the compass. There's connection, which is the heart.
All right.
You may discard any number of cards from your hand with an approach icon matching the specified type on the left-hand side of the card. When you discard a card for its approach icons, you ignore all information on the card that doesn't explicitly refer to committing that card. There's no limit to the number of approach icons you can discard to commit to a test. So, in at least 1 energy, you can discard cards from hand with the matching icons. 3rd, commit effort from other sources. Other game effects such as gear, helpful beings, or other rangers may commit effort when you perform a test. You add this effort to your committed energy and approach icons during this step to determine your total committed effort. So cards in play can also affect it. Then you have a total. You apply modifiers. Once you determine your ranger's total committed effort, draw and reveal the top card of the challenge deck, which might be like this. The face of the challenge card shows each of the 4 aspects along with a 0, +1, -1, and -2. Look for the aspects specified by the test and combine the values shown with your committed effort. Then apply any other modifiers from card effects in play. Success or failure. If your resulting effort equals or exceeds the test difficulty, you succeed.
Okay, fair enough. Equals or exceeds.
Yeah, if it's lower,
okay,
then you fail.
Yeah, fair enough.
Then you resolve the effects. Let me read through this. If you succeed, resolve any effects noted in the text following the descriptor. If the effect scales off of your effort on the test, it scales off your resulting effort. If you fail, do not resolve the effects immediately following the descriptor. Often the only consequence for failing a test is fatigue itself. But if there are any effects for failing a test, they are explicitly mentioned in the text following the effects of success. For example, if you fail a traverse test, it says if you fail, suffer 1 injury. Then you suffer 1 injury. Okay. Some tests will also include effects that occur whether you succeed or fail, which are also always resolved regardless of the outcome. Resolve challenge effects. Oh, so we reveal a test. On the revealed challenge card, you'll find one of 3 unique icons on a band of color across the bottom: the crest, the mountain, or the sun. Mm-hmm. These icons match with challenge effects on cards in play. After you resolve the effects of success or failure, you must resolve the instructions of each challenge effect matching the icons. So if we pull the mountain, we look down, like if we pull the sun, that effect would happen on the table. And that's how the cards on the table actually activate.
Really what makes it feel like it's a living world. IMO.
When resolving challenge effects, resolve cards in the following order. When there are multiple challenge effects in one area, you can choose the order in which they resolve. So weather cards, location cards, mission cards, cards along the way, cards within reach, cards in your play area. Okay. So it's sort of top to bottom. Mm-hmm. And once we played a couple of rounds of this back in the day, it was really nice. There's also a reshuffle icon, which looks like this. Okay. After resolving a test, if any challenge cards that show the reshuffle icon were put into the discard, shuffle the challenge deck and discard pile back. So there's basically one of each kind. So there's only a -2 of each test. Mm-hmm. And once you've seen that, you know. But then there are also icons that shuffle it back up.
I see. Very cool.
All right, clearing cards. Well, don't need to worry about that yet. Fatigue, ending the day. It's all gravy. Additional concepts. All right, let's get to.
Do you want to read the prologue? Because it's got some narrative stuff in there. It's pretty cool.
How long is the prologue? Asking for.
It's only a simple. Like 23 steps, but we can build actually. I will. Let me read this. Let me read the first intro of the prologue, and it'll set us up for what we're doing anyway. Imagine a low fire burning in the pre-dawn light. Imagine you're wrapped in a warm cloak, breathing cool mountain air. You smell the smoke from the fire and the rich scent of pine. Last night you swore oaths to your ancestors, to the elders, and to the spirit of the valley. The sun begins to rise on your first day as a ranger, a caretaker of the land, and a friend to its people. You watch as Elder Thrush retrieves her condenser kettle from a low branch, checks the water level, then places it onto the fire. As the water rises to boil, Calypsa, the ranger who mentored you for the past 9 months, sets about crushing dried marrow leaf for tea in plain carbon forged cups. Once it's ready, she hands you a cup. Steam pours off of it. It smells of the forest. Calypsa raises her cup. To your true self, she drinks, and you follow suit. The tea invigorates you, warmth spreading through your body. It feels amazing. Your eyes are drawn to the flame. As you watch, your eyes unfocus. You hear the voices of your ancestors. You can feel them with you. You can feel the support and love. You hear them speak, and they remind you of your best qualities, the person you truly are. Who are you? That's how you start building a character.
Love it. That's how you do it.
That's how it starts.
Andrew says the prologue would probably take about 2 hours for you guys to do on the stream. I'd estimate. We're not going to do the prologue.
I know. We're just, but that was cool.
We just wanted to give a taste of, because I think the deck building is a really compelling piece of this game. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of compelling elements, but to show that a bit, and then I think we'll come back in at some point and do a real play.
I mean, who knows when you're gone? Who knows what's going to happen? Steve and I may just win the whole thing.
Win the whole thing.
Thanks for the stuff, Zach. We want it.
All right. So create a ranger. Start a campaign of Earthborne Rangers. You build your own custom ranger character. You'll bring all the cards you need together in a way that tells the story of who your ranger is, how they spent their formative years, what they specialized training they've received before they complete the trials, rites, and ceremonies that welcome them into the service of the Rangers. If you're starting with the prologue, see page 9, you'll create a character as part of that process. But if you're jumping right into the game, you can follow these steps to create your ranger. Ranger cards are broken into 5 categories: personality, background, specialty, malady, and reward. You can set aside all reward and malady cards for now. Those are obtained during the campaign and not used in ranger creation. Both backgrounds and specialties are broken into 2 different sets that you'll be choosing between during character creation. To make ranger creation easier, we recommend placing each of these sets in their own pile to keep them organized. Look at us. It says, once you become familiar with the deck customization process, you can build your deck in any order you like. But for the first time, we recommend performing the following steps in order. Choose your aspects. Aspects are 4 values that represent where your inherent strengths lie. All of them are listed on a single card. There are a total of 12 different aspect cards to choose from, each of which features a different spread of values across the 4 aspects, ranging from 3 to 1. That is these.
Mm-hmm. No, you touched the thing. No, it's okay.
On each aspect card, there's a high stat 3 and a low stat 1. Choose one of these cards for your ranger. Your high and low aspect will define the types of tests that your ranger is inherently good at performing. It will also determine which cards you're able to include in your ranger deck. Each ranger card has an aspect requirement on the left-hand side of the card. If your corresponding aspect is not equal to or higher than that requirement, you cannot include the card in your deck. As an example,
oh ho ho.
If you look at Riri the Sparrowhawk.
Okay.
You want to pull that up?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You got lost in the sauce there.
I got too many hats.
All right. On the bottom left, there's Shepherd 2 of 9. And just above that, it says 2 AWA.
Right.
So you have to have at least 2 awareness to include this card in your deck. So there will be repercussions of this. Each ranger card has an aspect. Yeah. So literally, first thing before we know anything.
Yeah. So it's got a little bit in the prologue that's going to help us. If you'd like to be able to hike swiftly through the valley, or if you'd like to be able to defend yourself against dangerous predators with a hand weapon, you should choose fitness as your high aspect, Zach. If you'd like to be able to easily converse and get along with the people of the valley, or if you want to form deep connections with the natural world, you should choose spirit as your highest aspect. If you'd like to be able to adeptly avoid the valley's many dangers and easily explore the environment, you should choose awareness as your high aspect. And lastly, if you'd like to expertly solve a multitude of problems and handle situations that require greater concentration or great insight, or both, you should choose focus as your high aspect.
That's helpful.
That is helpful.
Frog's saying on the Earthborne playcast, Andrew Fisher saying it took us about an hour and 40 with new players in our playcast video. People are curious to see the prologue. You can check out the Earthborne YouTube channel.
There you go.
Good
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Also here it says it has the 4 broken down in a different kind of way, which is helpful. Awareness, your ranger's skill of observation. Awareness is a measure of how well they process the world around them. Spirit, your strength, your ranger's inner strength and self-of-sense. Spirit is a measure of how well your rangers know themselves.
Okay.
Fitness, your ranger's strength, ability, and endurance. Fitness is a measure of how well they respond to physical demands. Focus, your ranger's concentration and ability to recall knowledge. Focus is a measure of how well they can stay on task. So what's your 3? Let's start there.
Okay, so I'm looking at these cards. There's one that's going to be 3 and one that's going to be 1. So you have to decide that. I am pretty drawn to awareness.
Okay.
Because I just think in real life awareness is very important.
Okay, so I'm drawn to spirit.
All right, great. So we're doing good so far.
I would kind of like to build a character that is a little aloof.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to be a high spirit, low awareness.
Okay. That's good.
And basically, like, if you want to be a high awareness, that plays right into what I was wanting to do.
Yeah, perfect.
And I kind of, when you just, sometimes, at least for me in life, sometimes you meet someone and they just have this, like, almost mystical energy about them. Yeah,
I do.
I am not that person in real life, but I would like to play that person in Earthborne Rangers. You know what I mean? So we'll see where that goes. But just really into, like, I would love a character that's really into, like, not even religion, but more like not routines. What do you call it?
Rituals?
Rituals.
Oh,
gosh.
I was there.
I was really reaching to get there. So really into, like, rituals and, like, just, like, the meaning behind things and stuff. So I'd really, if I'm going to slow down and play this game,
right,
I really want to take it in.
Yeah,
you know
that's great. Yeah, I love it.
So let me find my 3s. And
the thing is, I want to be good at all this stuff.
Yeah, you can't. All right, so mine, this is my card. So it's a 3 spirit, a 1 awareness, and 2 in the other 2. That's what I'm picking.
So, okay, I'm doing 3 awareness.
Torres88, hey guys, can I ask a quick sorcery question? Will the playmats be available at any point on your site? The 2 playmats will be available. Expecting those to go on sale around launch. So the week of November 10th. Keep your eyes open. Thomas, great to see you too.
All right, so I'm going to, for now, let's just see what it looks like. I'm going to go with the 3 fitness, 3 awareness, 1 fitness.
I'm too
I
weak.
can see stuff coming and I can get out of the way, but I can't.
All right, so we don't have any brawlers among us.
No brawlers. That's fine. Yeah. Making a statement.
Okay. So determine your personality. Personality cards represent the type of person your ranger is and how they engage with the world around them. Select 4 unique cards from the personality set. Choose 1 personality card from each. Okay, hold on. Personality. These are the roles. So these are the personalities, like Traveler, Artisan, Shepherd,
yes,
Forager.
That's correct.
So it says select 4 unique cards from the set.
Oh, wow.
Choose one personality card from each of the 4 different aspects: awareness, fitness, focus, spirit, and add 2 copies of each to your deck.
Wait, these are personality cards. These are personality cards. These are personality cards. Okay, say it again. Now I'm paying attention. Now I'm ready.
Okay, hold on. What is insightful, passionate, balanced, determined.
So what am I supposed to be doing?
So select 4 unique cards from the personality set. Choose one personality card from each of the 4 different aspects.
Oh, tight.
And then you're going to get 2 copies of that. So as an example, in the green, there's insightful, vigilant, perceptive, thorough, and you're going to get 2 of one of those. You know what I mean? From each of these colors. Also, for bookkeeping purposes, I'm going to stack everything we're not using. I'm going to keep these cards separate.
Yep. Because we're doubling.
I'm going to put this face down, and then when I pick here, I'll put the rest of these face down.
Yeah.
On top.
I got it. I got you. Okay, that's tight.
Okay.
So we do decide if we're insightful, vigilant, perceptive, or thorough.
We should probably choose different ones.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm going to do?
I need to get in my mind.
I'm not going to even read.
You're just going to feel it?
So I can tell by the name, right? Insightful, vigilant, perceptive, and thorough.
Yep.
So if I'm going to play this and this gets back to those RPG vibes, but if I'm going to play this kind of like high spirit person, to me, the 2 that are, I think insightful is the card.
Okay.
Because it's like, they just, and I'm low awareness, so I don't think perceptive is going to be it, or thorough. I can see vigilance.
Yeah, man, these are all good. Oh man. Oh, okay, all right. I think I'm gonna have to go with perceptive. I feel perceptive is what I'm going for with this guy.
Oh, dude, check it out. Be sure to check the aspect requirement over there. So like, there's I can't even be thorough because my awareness is
nice. Love it. So you probably look at more insightful kind of stuff. Okay, this is coming together, and like they each seem to be paired, at least in some ways, with the other approach icons.
And check it. So like vigilance says the number of these icons that it's coming into the test is equal to your awareness, which I'm bad at.
And I have 3 awareness, so I would be very good at it. But perceptive, which is the one I took, is after you succeed in this test, which you committed this attribute, gain 1 awareness.
Okay.
And it's exploration, which is what my dude's gonna be looking to do.
So I've chosen my green card.
Yeah, this is cool.
All right, so red, remember, you can't take the 2. There's probably a 2 in here. Yeah, there it is. You can't be bold.
I cannot be bold.
But there's passionate.
But I can be passionate.
Balanced, determined. I guess passionate's my jam.
This attribute, you may suffer 1 fatigue. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Oh, balance is nice. Ooh, I like balanced a lot.
So my insightful, after I succeeded a test in which you committed this, I may suffer fatigue to add it back to my hand. So I've got this ability to get a card back in my hand.
Oh, nice.
If I want. And I see this, passionate was the one I defaulted to, but it says, after you succeed a test in which you committed this attribute, you may suffer fatigue to add it back to your hand. I don't know, I haven't played with all these cards, right? I don't know if having a bunch of the things that do the same thing is good.
Right.
Because I could have a character who has cards that really need cards in hand to be doing stuff. Does anyone have any tips out there that have done this before? Because it makes me want to actually choose balanced.
Yeah, balance is looking good.
Which lets me suffer a fatigue to gain an energy type, which I don't have. You gain an energy off your first one, right? So I feel like
having some energy moving around. What are you thinking, Zach? I'll go off you. I can't be bold though.
So I'm trying to wait and see.
And I'm probably not going to be determined. Yeah. So I'm between passionate and balanced.
Oh, bold's just a double.
Yeah.
Just a double.
Just double. You have to have 2 fit for it.
Oh, it's also worth noting what icons are here.
Yes. Because I've got perceptive is going to give me 1 exploration. If I went determined, that'd be a 2nd exploration. What
up, Bruce? This is Earthborne Rangers. We've covered it before in the past, but the Kickstarter is being fulfilled now, and it's going to be releasing soon. We have it available pre-order on the website, and we have a lot more coming about it. But it's a solo co-op game that's very different, which I'm really excited about. Solar Jetman saying fatigue is good if you take soothe abilities, but too much fatigue will shorten your day.
Okay. So fatigue is not like a game ender. We're cool with that.
Yeah, I don't want to be too fatigued though. Don't. I think I'm just gonna take bold on this one because I can.
Okay.
Got the double icon.
Oh yeah, because you're. And then I'm gonna take balance.
There's no fatiguing.
All right. So I am perceptive and balanced, just like in real life.
I'm insightful and bold, just like in real life.
There it is.
All right, so I'm going to the blues.
Yep. We got meticulous, versatile, inventive. Ooh, I like that one. And astute.
This is focus.
I love this.
So astute. The double every time is just it commits for 2 icons.
Yeah. But it's a different icon every time.
You're welcome, Bruce.
Which is also pretty cool. And something to looks like this is the case is that these common tests are what the double is on. Does that make sense? You might be able to say that better. But a common test is fit plus explore, and the bold, the one that has the 2 icons, is explore.
Yeah.
So you're better at your common test when you have that thing.
Dude, do you see versatile? It gains an icon of any type if you gain a fatigue.
Ooh. Wow. That's cool.
I don't know, man. I like these double icons.
I do too.
Am I too gamer in this?
I don't know.
All right, let's think about this. Would my character be meticulous? No. Versatile? Maybe. Inventive? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Astute? What's astute mean?
Astute is like because of the way you say it, it's like a good student, but like someone who's paying attention and like.
That ain't me.
Mostly paying attention.
I'm going to go with inventive. Insightful, bold, inventive.
All right, I think I am going to go
with... We like
these
keywords.
Astute for my doubler here.
All right, so now we get to the spirit stack.
Here you go. There. Now make sure you look at the ones that's like equal to however many you have in your pool.
Persuasive, thoughtful, engaging, compassionate. So engaging, the number of hearts on this attribute is equal to the number of spirit in your energy pool.
There you go.
It's got to be that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So insightful, bold, inventive, engaging.
Not bad. I'm gonna go thoughtful.
Andrew Fisher says the double icon personalities are the safest for new players. The suffer fatigue to do tricks personalities can be powerful, but take a bit more presence of mind to use well.
Okay.
Well, I'm up for a good challenge, my dudes. But I have one fatigue option, and then the rest are not. So
I've got one fatigue option as well. I got a good spread here.
I feel good about my decision.
So I am perceptive, balanced, astute, and thoughtful. Okay. I like it.
All right.
You have the gift of being able to sense the needs of those around you. Instinctively, you lend a hand without being overbearing. Your ego nowhere to be found. Love it. Close enough.
We're playing characters, are we not? Got him. All right. Choose your background. Your ranger's background represents their experience from early life and young adulthood. It contains the skills and equipment you bring with you into the rangers. Choose one of the 4 background sets: artisan, forager, shepherd, and traveler. The background set contains 9 unique cards each. Select 5 of those cards from your chosen background and 2 copies of each. So you're going to choose one of these backgrounds.
Okay.
And you get to choose 5 of those 9, and you get 2 copies of each card.
Okay.
And remember, they have this basic thing that you have to abide by.
Ooh.
Background. Now, it says go to page 34.
Yeah, it kind of shows you. There you go. You can do some... it's got life as an artisan, life as a forager. I'm probably going to go forager because that's just my jam.
Oh, it gives you a little... Okay, I'm just going to read this intro paragraph about each one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Artisan. In your early life, you worked on a specialized craft in one of the valley's villages. You're adept in the use of tools and you know how to work with your hands. Artisan cards key off of and support your equipped gear and the gear of other rangers. Forager. In your early life, you gained tremendous knowledge of the plants of the valley. You know how to identify flora of the wilderness, which are medicinal, which are edible, and which are dangerous. Forager cards key off of cards with the flora trait, allowing you to use them as a resource in ways that cards from other backgrounds do not. Shepherd. In your early life, you tended a flock of iron wool sheep in the rolling meadows of the southwestern valley. You have a natural affinity for animals, both tame and wild. Shepherd cards typically affect beings and can help you interact with and pacify predators in non-violent ways. Then Traveler. Your early life was spent walking the footpaths of the valley, from village to village, or even journeying outside of it. As such, you feel most at home when you're on the move. Traveler cards revolve primarily around making the most of moment cards. Artificer? Is that a fit?
No, Artificer is the next row.
Specialty. Yeah. Okay. What spoke to you?
Well, obviously Forager, because I'm doing that in real life.
I thought we were playing characters.
I know, but I just want to see it.
Because your awareness is high?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
You're very aware of your surroundings and nature.
I can't take my trowel because I don't have the fitness for that, but everything else I'm good for.
Right. Artisan's definitely not me. That's not a very spiritual path. There's Shepherd, which I like because it's like animal based.
Animals, yeah.
Traveler's also not bad.
Yeah, I'm between Traveler and Forager. But mostly because that eagle eye card looks so good.
Because like Traveler is like heavily on the moments, which makes sense as someone who's like attuned. But it's hard not to be a shepherd here. You know what I mean?
I mean, go with your heart.
Wait, which one has the snacks?
I believe that's me. Like the loose leaf tea kit?
Come on now.
I got it. I'm with you.
Loose leaf tea kit. Well, I haven't seen the trail mix yet. That's what.
I can pull up the trail mix, but I don't know. I don't think it's a reward.
Yeah, it's really cool. So they have check this out. Under Shepherd, they're showing the art and the cards here.
The trail mix is Traveler.
The description and stuff.
Oh, tight. You got it all in there. Nice.
It's really cool, right? It's like it shows the stacks of everything.
That's so cool. Oh, so you can already see. This is so cool. Good job, Andrew.
What up, Joe Phillips?
Oh, wow. Do you mind if I look at this for just a second? So you would start out with a sparrowhawk and a dog, potentially.
Yeah, potentially. Davey saying that Inventive will be the first card out of Zach's deck. Do you upgrade? I don't know how that works. What do you mean out of my deck? Matt G, so no Star Wars Unlimited talk. None yet. Solar Jetman, astute, having a shown ability to accurately assess situations of people and turn it to one's advantage. Solar Jetman saying Explorer definitely for the trail mix.
Nice. You want to keep looking at this? I know what my heart says. I'm a Forager. And so how many of these do we get?
You choose 5 of the 9, and you get 2 copies of each.
I love it.
So you're the Forager.
You know it.
Let me look. So it's either creatures or moments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I could go either way with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And be aware, your stat card is your resource pool. So when you're choosing your cards, remember they have a cost.
Okay.
And that's going to cost you energy to even play them.
Okay.
Which is what's in the top left. So you're probably going to not, like, I won't choose green cards out of my thing, typically.
Yeah.
I can't not have the good boy.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen.
You got to. So
But the trail mix is right here.
Andrew says, as you unlock rewards, you have the options to swap them into your deck by swapping out other cards. So personalities are often targets for that just because they are a bit simpler. Joe Phillips, can't wait to start this stream from the start tomorrow. But excited to have TC keep me company for my commute home.
Happy to be with you, man.
We love it. So Secret Garden says, attached feature gains the Flora trait. And I'm guessing, like Loose Leaf Tea says, after you add 1 or more, looks like an explosion to a Flora, you may add 1 herb to this gear. So I can gather from places if I would like to.
Yeah.
Kind of neat.
So I'm going to go Shepherd.
Okay.
So let's put these over here for now, the rolls. So I have high spirit. So I definitely
look at the cost here.
Want the sheepdog. Oru's coming with us. That's what we used to call Oru. Oru. Literally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, there it is, written for you.
Friendly, persistent, unique. I don't even care what he does. You can pet him.
That's right, you can pet him. Let's get that dog back up there.
If you take a test to pet him, it's you pet your canine companion to ready this bean and soothe one fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
It's glorious. I also love moment cards in general, so Healing Touch is going to be one of my cards.
Yeah.
Let's see how we feel about this hawk.
Okay, man. I see what's happening here. It's all very cool.
So my awareness is low, so I'm going to avoid these green cards.
How many of these do I get?
5.
I think I've passed 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
And remember, so like, there's this card Homeward Bound as an example. It costs 2 fitness. So I only have 2 fitness resources.
I see.
So like.
Oh, understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're with me now.
I'm with you now. I'm getting it.
Like really with me now.
I see what's happening here. This green thumb thing seems like it's something that I should use. I don't quite understand it, but like.
What's it say?
Well, so it's one of those things that I think I would understand if I played the game, but search the path deck and discard for a flora, and then put it into play with a skill attached, which is green thumb. Increase that attached flora, I would imagine, damage threshold by 2.
So.
And then I can gather from flora by adding damage. I can do a lot of stuff by adding damage to flora.
Yeah, let me see it real quick.
Sure.
So I think it's like.
Because like Nature's Abundance, each player may add 1 damage to a flora to soothe 1 fatigue and gain 1 energy of any type. But you can't exceed the threshold that way.
Yeah, so basically if you have cards that you need flora to be interacting with, that to me is just literally searching to make sure there's one.
Make sure there's something I can do. That's not a bad idea. Let's do it.
So.
That seems good too.
The art on a gentle nudge is so good.
Oh yeah, it is. Pushing that old sheep. Oh yeah, that's the green thumb. I was just talking about that. So I can pull that up. Sorry guys. I'm gonna get the static sifter even though it's 2 because it looks cool and I think it's neat. Okay, so I'm definitely doing that. 1, 2, 3. That's wild.
Man, Homeward Bound seems wild. What's this icon? It says move all. It's on the die as well. This A.
I think you have to. That's path, or at least has something to do with traversing. Because like in the traverse thing, you add that many to a location or feature. If you fail, you suffer 1 injury. But I think you have to meet that threshold to go to the next one or to get by it or something like that.
Got you.
I think.
Okay, Davy's saying having a few 1-cost cards in the aspect that you don't have is actually a good way to use that resource. Because a lot of times you won't include a lot of those cards.
Right.
Unfortunately for me, there's no 1-cost awareness cards. And remember your threshold, so I can't even play the hawk because I'm a 1 threshold. Right.
Okay. I think I've done it.
So I think I'm gonna
progress. Andrew says what that icon is.
Gotcha. So I think I'm gonna do the sheepdog, of course.
Yep.
I've got the Paratrepsis whistle.
Okay.
It's when a ranger would suffer an injury from a predator, or damage would be added to a being by a predator. I can cancel it 3 times.
Nice.
I got the Healing Touch. Choose 1, discard a damage from a being to add 3 progress to it.
Nice.
So I like heal a creature, and then we get through progress or whatever it is. And then I can also heal 1 injury from a ranger.
Nice. Good.
Calming Presence. Attach it to a predator. Attached card loses the predator trait.
I love it.
Before a challenge effect on the attached card will resolve, you may discard 2 progress from it to cancel the effect. And then Gentle Nudge. Each ranger may discard a progress from a being within reach of them to move that being. So
nice.
We need to get out of town.
Andrew says all of the references are on the back of the manual as well.
Oh, all the icons and stuff. Very cool. Progress. Yeah,
Harm.
Harm.
Okay. And then Ranger token. Okay, I'm taking Nature's Abundance. Actually, let's start with Green Thumb. I'm taking green thumb. That's going to allow me to make sure that I have stuff that makes my stuff happen. I didn't take the puff crawler spores because they freak me out. But basically, you can turn...
Because they freak me out.
Yeah, you can turn a Bing into Flora. That's just a little too much for me. And then Familiar Ground, because I'm realizing that I don't have... Because I have low fitness, I'm probably not going to be super great at the traverse test, which seems kind of important. So Familiar Ground allows me to add 3 progress to a trail.
Nice.
So that's pretty good. So I had to do a Flora, but Green Thumb can find me a Flora. And I'm sure there'll be plenty. I got Nature's Abundance, which is going to be good for all of us to get energy, which is add a harm to a Flora and soothe 1 fatigue and gain 1 energy of any type, all rangers. Each ranger may do that, but it cannot exceed the harm threshold of the Flora. So we can't kill it.
Wow.
We can just let it help us. And then this Sifter, just because it looks cool, but response, after you add 1 or more harm to a Flora, you may add 1 Vittle to this gear. And then I can use 1 Vittle to choose a range, and that ranger chooses 2 fatigue. So
you harm the tree to get, or the plant to get something from it, right. And then you're using that to heal people.
That's right. That's right. And then lastly, the loose leaf tea kit.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? Not have tea on our trip?
We gotta have some tea. So I can make tea very similar. After you add 1 or more harm to a Flora, you may add 1 herb to this gear. And then choose a ranger. That ranger gains 1 energy of any type. So I've got a soothing fatigue or gain 1 energy, soothing fatigue, gaining energy, and getting out of dodge, and then making sure that there's Flora around. So that's the idea.
Perfect. I like that of all the things that survived thousands of years in the future, the ritual of a nice hot drink.
That's right.
Shared among friends.
It really is amazing how much stuff out there can be just made into tea.
Grind it up?
Grind it up, put it in some hot water. Basically, the 2 things you can do with most wild edibles are either make them into tea or pickle it. Just by and large. Yeah. I guarantee you that.
All right. Make it a tea and pickle it.
Yeah.
You're a forager, aren't you?
Yes, I actually am.
All right, next thing. Choose your specialty.
Trying to be.
Your ranger specialty represents the training experience of your ranger's adulthood and specialized training they bring to the rangers. Choose one of the 4 specialties. The specialty set contains 14 unique cards each. Select 5 cards from your chosen specialty and add 2 copies of each card selected to your card's ranger deck. So you're still only choosing 5 instead of out of 9 this time. Now it's out of 14. Woo! Okay. Additionally, each specialty includes 2 roll cards. These rolls do not go into your deck, but start the game in play and offer you a special, repeatable ability you can use and rely on. Select one of those rolls for your ranger. So we'll come back to that.
Okay.
So specialty, just to run them down real quick, there's the Artificer, part engineer, part visionary artist. Artificers are master craftspeople dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. You're a student of technology of the past, but you are also an innovator, forging the path with experimental technology of the current age. Appropriately, Artificer cards are primarily gear and attachments, and are typically a cut above those found elsewhere. Conciliator. Even before you joined the Rangers, you were dedicated to helping the communities of the Valley, aiding anyone in need in matters great and small. As a conciliator, you are a natural mediator and protector and share a deep connection with other Valley dwellers, having spent many years in their company. Conciliator cards specialize in connecting with the villagers, protecting them from predators, and navigating habitated areas of the Valley. The Explorer. The people of the Valley are natural explorers, but you have an affinity and aptitude for exploration that has made you an expert of the wilds. The Valley cannot keep secrets from you for long. You spent many years traversing the uncharted wilderness in search of resources, both natural and otherwise, for the people of the Valley. You're adept at charting new paths and overcoming any obstacle set before you. Explorer cards center around quickly placing progress on features and locations, scouting the path deck, and moving efficiently along the path of the Valley map. Then, of course, the Shaper. Many years ago, you walked the perilous stair to the monastery at the top of Blind Peak, where, through decades of study and practice in the floating tower, you learned to focus your intent and alter reality through the use of a conduit, a wonder of modern technology. Inoperable by any but the most disciplined and self-aware. Shaper cards require you to include a special piece of gear called a conduit in your deck. With it, they make use of powerful abilities that can manipulate parts of the game system that are usually inaccessible to others.
Whew, so I like it.
The 2 that stick out to me for my character, not Artificer, because I don't like technology and gunk.
Don't worry, I'm going to go Artificer.
There's the Conciliator, which deep connection with the Valley people.
Yep.
There's also the Shaper.
Yeah, whenever I was going through the titles and saw Adherent to the First Ideal, I just that title alone broke my imagination open. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like you read that and you see that image and it's like, okay, let's see what happens. I don't know. It is really cool. Do we talk about the first ideal? Is that discussed? Do we know what the first ideal is? It. Is it first do no harm?
You said you're going to be you say Pakoto the ferret. It's hilarious.
Oh, nice. That's right. You get to see the stuff in there. That's such a cool idea in the rulebook.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to hand you this in a second.
That's okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be exceptional tinker. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be an artificer.
I think I'm going to be a shaper, but I'm going to hand this over to you. Yeah, here you go. Here's your artificer page.
Because all this stuff is great. It's very cool, the difference between the Masterful Engineer versus the Exceptional Tinker. Because the Masterful Engineer is ready attack, and the Tinker is basically spend 1 energy to add a token to attack, which is like just a perfect explanation of the difference between an engineer and a tinkerer. I don't know. I think it's cool.
What is the first ideal?
I don't know, man.
Because there's this.
Is there any Andrews out there?
Shaper roll card that says adherent.
It's in the lore book, he said.
Adherent. Yeah, I'll hook you up.
I'll find it. Don't worry, we'll find it.
One of the roles for Shaper is adherent of the first ideal.
Yeah, it sure is.
I like it.
That's the one that really got me.
All right, let's see. First ideal. It's not here.
And I get to choose 5 out of here. All right. Oh, that's cool. These are all cool. I'm just going to have to look at these for a second. You know what? We can all look at them together. So we're going to look at the index.
This is the kind of stuff I love, though. So I remember reading this. The Gathering Feast is a festival every settlement celebrates, and star sparks are launched from spires so everyone in the valley can see and enjoy them. Likewise, when the cottonwoods release their seeds, people all across the valley gather them up to prepare for the dance of the seed snow. And the spring blooming festival takes place yearly when the first of the valley's flowers bloom. I love it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one of the things that make the world living is festivals. I don't think people pay enough attention to that, but it's a big deal. All right, so I've got to figure out what I'm going to take out of this.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. The Book of Ideals. Shapers learn by meditating, practicing, and following the guidance of elder shapers. But there's one book kept in the monastery that all novices are expected to read. The Book of Ideals lists the many ideals the shapers aspire to achieve, and covers themes such as mindfulness, sustainability, connection, and community. The first 2 ideals of the book seem to contradict, however, and that's why some shapers choose to adhere to one or the other.
Oh.
The first ideal was set down by one of the first shapers in the valley, a master of meditation and mindfulness who believed that only by knowing and truly understanding one's own self could one fully comprehend the universe. The one in the microcosm of the whole. Since the universe is too big to comprehend, self-reflection is the most important study. He spent his whole life in the monastery. He survived on nothing but rainwater and taught new shapers to know themselves and thus master their abilities. When he died, quietly, it was said that he left only wisdom behind. The second ideal was set down by one of his apprentices, a shaper known for her healing touch. She believed far from self-reflection, the most important focus was on the interconnectedness of all things. The one is nothing without the many, and in order to support the universe and be supported in turn, awareness should be on the whole. She left the monastery and roamed the valley tirelessly, healing wounds and saving lives. After she died valiantly trying to rescue a traitor from a pack of wolfhounds, she was mourned across the valley and celebrated for her compassion. Those shapers who spend time trying to reconcile these 2 ideals learn the third ideal in the book, the necessity of balance. However, the fourth ideal is tolerance, reminding shapers that all potential choices and approaches should be considered when possible.
Pretty cool. Oh wow. This is a tough one here. I think I will do this. No, can't do that and can't do that. Okay. All right. Okay.
Do you have the book?
Yeah, I do. There you go.
The old shaper section.
So the trail markers And just another one. I only have one fitness, but you can attach it to location or feature. When one or more path is added to this, progress is added to the attached trail, increase the number added by 1. So we can do more. And I think that's going to be good because I still can't traverse very well. So it's a good one cost for my weak element there. And then
dude, look at the art on Stay with the Sun.
Okay. It's crazy because like you're in a whole different world than I am.
Yeah, I'm like in the wizarding world.
Yeah, Stay with the Sun?
Stave.
Oh.
S-T-A-V-E.
No, just type the sun. Maybe not. There we go. Woo! Is it a conduit?
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't play it because it's 3 awareness.
Yeah. Okay.
I think there's a staff of each color, so let's see what the 3 spirit staff is.
Oh, wrist mounted darter is crazy to him.
Scepter of Harmony. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that your spirit
conduit? 3 spirits.
Yeah.
So, response after you perform a test in which no challenge effects were resolved, add 1 song to this conduit.
Mm-hmm.
Exhaust, use X songs, add X progress to a being. Don't mind me. We're just going to take that. Oh, it's so cool.
Mm-hmm. That's all so cool, isn't it?
There's basically a conduit of each color, and you have to have that as your max stat.
Oh, tight. Oh, yeah, that's tight. That's tight.
Just like, look at this.
Nice.
Stay with the Sun.
Wait, what are the other ones?
So, Staff of the Wanderer.
Okay.
Yeah. Rod of the Clouds. And then Scepter of Harmony. And then Stave of the Sun, which we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are all looking so good. Man, I got some tough choices ahead of me. Oh, man. Tough choices. The good thing is I don't have 3 focus, so I know those go out. I don't have 3 spirit, so that one goes out too. Easy peasy. I see. This is when, so the three whatever show up at this stage of the game.
3 what?
Basically the stuff that requires 3 of your aspect, this aspect.
Yep.
Show up here because in the one before, the round before we did with the first round, 2 was the highest, but now it's 3 is the highest. Okay. There's 3 focus. There's 3 spirit. There's all of my things. And that really helps me narrow it down. I mean, you have to imagine you've got to take your big one. So I'm going to take a Day Howler.
What's your big one?
My big one is awareness. Because I can avoid. And so it charges up. Chubfrog says 3 spirit conduit is a monster when it's humming.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. 3 spirit conduit is a feast or famine conduit. Perfect. Yeah.
I like high reward, high risk.
When it's not, I hope your deck does other stuff. All right. When you play this, choose an aspect. Oh, very cool.
So it's worth noting, my 3-cost card takes 2 equipment slots.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So I especially need to be looking at that.
I've got equipment. 3 total. So I've got 2 open, potentially, as you're choosing these cards.
Okay. Oh, I see. There's 4 profiles on it, but I can add a token to it. Tight. So we can do a lot more avoiding. This seems synergistic with this. I think I'm going to synergize here. That's the Pharaoh Dex. So I've got the Pharaoh Dex, which I use basically exhaust it and use a token off of it. And when a ranger performs an avoid test, it commits 1 effort. That tracks.
I love.
And then if I avoid something, I've got my Day Howler here.
It's cooking.
It's happening. And after I succeed in an avoid test, add 1 charge to this gear. Easy peasy, no problem.
Love it.
And plus, I got my Tinker that can add 1 to it too. So we should be able to charge that up if necessary. Now I have to discard it to use it, but you know, These things have to happen, unfortunately. So, oh yeah, okay. That's good too. Oh dear. Okay, that's just cool. I mean, it's just cool. Am I gonna run out of slots immediately here?
Yep.
I think so. All right, there's 1, 2. I've got everything out. 2. Oh my gosh. Oh, these are all of my dead cards. These don't matter. Okay. Trekking pole's about scared the pants off of me. Because they take 3. Oh yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. The Sifter just takes 1. The T-Kit takes 2. That's alright. That's okay. We'll do Stone and River because it doesn't hurt me. And another avoid test, so we're going to be doing a lot of avoiding, which seems fair.
Do we have? I'll look real quick.
That's my 4th one, and then last. It's always the last one. It's the tough one here.
Yeah, we're runners, not fighters.
We're definitely running, and we can run with the best of them.
Got our Nikes on.
Don't worry, yeah. When you would suffer 1 or more fatigue from a path card, reduce the fatigue suffered to 0.
Now, fatigue is where you discard a card, right?
I believe so.
Let me look that up. Page 20. Alright, fatigue. Each card in the path deck has a presence value in the upper right corner. Some effects. You suffer fatigue with the presence of that. Okay. Your rangers can only accomplish so much in one day. Your deck represents your stamina, and if it runs out, you will have to camp for the night. Navigating the valley can be taxing, no matter how in tune your ranger becomes with nature. There's still challenges that can put strain on them. When your ranger suffers fatigue, remove cards equal to the amount of fatigue suffered from the top of your deck, and without looking at them, place those face down near your ranger discard, creating a fatigue stack.
Nice.
So you can recover fatigue, get those cards back. But, yeah.
Ooh boy. I think it's between this cloak and this carbon forged cable. So the cloak allows me to not suffer fatigue from a path card. The cable I can attach to a predator for 2 awareness, and when attached, when the attached predator would ready, it remains exhausted, which seems pretty good.
It does.
I'm gonna do that.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, let's do the cable. That cable is good. Here it is. Okay, and then that's mine. It actually worked out once I removed everything that required 3. It was actually a pretty quick endeavor. But very cool that stuff shows up like it does. Cool. Very, very cool. What are you looking at, Zach?
So, I obviously have the Scepter. After more tests in which no challenge effects were resolved, add 1 song to this conduit. Then you can add X progress to a being by using songs off of this.
Nice, very cool.
So, let me look up something really quick. Challenge effect, page 17. I want to make sure I'm understanding this. It's key to my deck.
Okay.
Challenge effect. Okay, so that's when you resolve a test. So I want to play the cards that let me choose which card is happening. I don't think it's that. Hold on, I saw a few of these. Like the what should never be. It says when drawing challenge cards during a test, draw card challenge cards until you draw one with a +1 in the used aspect. Use that challenge card for this test and suffer fatigue equal to the number of cards discarded this way. So that's not the one. Where's the one? Throng of Life. When a ranger draws a challenge card during the test, choose which modifier to use for that card. Then choose an additional challenge icon to resolve for this test. Don't really like that one either.
What other reasons would you exhaust your roll? Do you know yet?
You can exhaust your roll to take a turn back to back.
Okay. Cool.
So like we need you to take 2 things in a row.
All right, so that's fine. That's okay.
So I think Okay, this makes sense. Cards like Seeing Through Cycles. So what I want to do with the Scepter of Harmony, I want tests to be taken and no challenge effects to resolve.
Okay.
So ideally, I want to remove things from play that have icons on them, like the sun icon.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no sun icons out there and a test gets triggered that has the sun, then I get a token here.
Okay.
And I stack tokens and that gets more powerful.
Okay.
So as an example, Seen Through the Cycles, I can choose a bean in play and shuffle it into the path deck, search the deck and discard pile for a bean and put it in play. So I can basically swap out to make sure all the icons on the table match.
Okay.
So that this is triggering. So
that's pretty cool.
I'm trying to find synergies with that ability.
And just a fantastic art also.
Yeah.
Just
let me...
FYI. For those of you out there, I just can't decide if I'm going to be a tinker or an engineer because I love the readying stuff that's exhausted in all games all the time. But I also love the idea of just always having stuff to use. So,
is there a
kind of tricky
reason or rhyme to these? Let's look at the plus ones. No, there's not.
Oh, that's very nice. Nicely done, guys. Because if I ready a tech, almost every tech uses a token to power itself. So it's not like I'm getting it for free. So I can either do stuff more consistently or I can have like big bursts of things.
Interesting.
Yeah, cool. Good job.
Good job.
Good job. Yeah, okay. All right, no, I get it. And then I can keep the thing. I think, oh boy. All right, no, okay. I'm gonna stay with the tinker. I'm doing it.
So I think here's where I've landed.
Okay.
Which is I have to run the Scepter of Harmony, of course. But then I basically want things that help me clear things off the board. Especially targeted like a certain icon so that I can trigger these songs. So we're going to talk about Seeing Through the Cycles, which lets me kind of do that. Then we get Root Snare, which I attach to a feature and add 2 progress to it. So I'm hoping that sometimes I can just clear a feature with that card. So that's the main piece of that. Next is Shape the Earth, which is add 1 progress to each feature and location. Then I can redistribute any number of progress between them.
Oh,
so that would also let me clear... ideally I want to keep as many icons off the table as I can. Okay. But if I can even just redistribute it to remove all the suns, then I have a chance to build the songs, if that makes sense.
See this again? Yeah. All right. Oh, that's not
right. Tim saying, seeing all these cards is getting me so hyped, and the Ulere Lamenia saying, dang, I want to see them play so bad.
I want to play pretty bad too. Ooh, okay, after you perform a test, so no challenge effects were resolved. I see. Very cool. Okay.
Davey's saying, remember, Zach, you don't need to clear stuff to prevent challenge effects. Exhausted cards don't resolve their challenge effects.
Oh.
So we could also exhaust them down.
Hey, and I've got my... I went with the carbon force cable, so predators are going to get down and stay down.
Perfect.
So that's going to be a big boon. And I've got a lot of stuff right now that, at least if I recall correctly, that adds path. So like this trail markers. There's a lot of stuff that has trail in there. Trail markers.
Gabby says John's deck is going to be great at exhausting things to help you.
Yay! And then I got trail markers. When 1 or more progress is added to the attached trail, increase the number added by 1. So you're going to attach this. And then with the Shape the Earth, then you can distribute that anywhere you want, right? Am I thinking about this right?
Yeah, so I can add 1 to each feature and location and redistribute the progress between them.
Right, and so when you add 1 with something that has trail marks on it, you actually add 2.
And then we get a we're going to shape it around. But check this out. So it's all coming together.
Okay, all right.
Then my last card is the Novice Lens, which is an item. It says response after you perform a test in which you committed 1 or more manifestation, gain a focus. These 3 cards that I picked are all manifestations.
Oh, very cool.
So it costs 2 focus, but then
dang, you gain a focus?
When I commit any of these cards, if this is out, I gain a focus.
Okay.
But check it out. Response. When you rest, if you have 1 or more focus in the energy pool, I get a Scout, a challenge card.
Nice.
So I think Scout is going to be look at it and either put it on bottom or leave it on top.
Yeah.
But check this out too. The 2 roles that I have, which is the next thing we pick. Let me get back to it. Because I was reading those. It's kind of relevant. And it makes sense now having explored this more fully, how this works. And then I want to talk about this process. So as part of our specialty, we choose a role.
Yep.
Right? And the 2 I can choose are the Adherent of the First Ideal, which can exhaust to scout the top challenge card.
Okay.
The second one is Prodigy of the Floating Tower. First off, compare these 2 pieces of art and tell me which character I'm going to be.
Is it the one with the long hair?
Yes. And in red. That guy. Anyways, his ability is exhaust, choose a manifestation in your discard pile, add it to your hand. So he can exhaust, grab one of these cards. If I commit one of these cards, it charges this up.
Boy.
So I'm 100%, the role I'm going to choose is the Prodigy of the Floating Tower. So,
hey, Sean Ripley, I've been watching Team Covenant streams since summer of 2020, and I'm really happy to have finally placed my first order, lore book, tokens, and map.
Sean,
I might be doing the same thing, Sean.
Thanks for being with us, and so happy to have you along the journey of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And even though this is your first purchase, thank you for being a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, even just watching and just being part of this.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, you can read the 6-hour stream comments.
Upvote for the 6-hour stream. Tim saying the overall vibe and feel of all these cards is just off the charts.
Yeah, the art is amazing as well.
Yeah, and I saw just like Andrew saying, just keep going, 6-hour stream, just like the Middle Earth streams. Okay, so did you choose your role yet?
Yes, I decided to be a tinker because I wanted consistent instead of bursty.
No one was surprised. So with the scepter, it says conduit setup. So does setup mean it starts in play?
That would be my imagine. That's what I would imagine.
And then do I actually have to have 2 of them?
The keywords are actually, and I don't know if it's strategic or not, but almost exactly in the middle of the book. So like if you go to where the staples are, then you'll get all the keywords. And it's probably on the back too, as Andrew was saying. Now go like one this way, and then keywords. There it is. Set up there, yeah.
Setup. At the start of the day, after step 1 of setup, you can search your deck for 1 card with a setup keyword and put it into play.
There you go. Do I have any setup?
So when you say put it into play, do you have to pay for it? Or do I just get to start the game with that in play?
Good question. The world wants to know.
So I'll be upgrading one of those out of my deck very quickly.
It's set up in the it's in the card text down there. Okay, let's see. I don't think I have it. I would have noticed that.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the thing. Last step. Create a character. Is this the book you picked?
No, it's not, but it looks really cool. I mean, it could be the closed version of the book that I picked.
Yeah, look at this book. It's just all naturey and stuff. Get out of town. Love that.
I love that.
Okay. So the last step to creating your ranger is to select your outside interest, a card that represents your hobbies and passions outside of your day-to-day life. This is a single card chosen from any specialty or background set. The chosen card cannot be a role or have the expert trait. Add 2 copies of this card to your ranger deck. The first time you create a ranger, this choice can be a daunting one, as nearly the entire card pool is at your disposal. If you prefer to choose from a shorter, curated list, please see the suggested list below.
Yeah, let's do the suggested list. Yeah.
There's the Farino decks, and the Artificer speciality.
Okay.
Is that what that is?
That's what's out there, yeah.
There's the Boundary Sensor.
What is the Boundary Sensor? Exhaust. When a ranger performs a traverse test, commit 1 effort.
So basically, it's for free effort for that.
Not
the
bad.
Intention Translator.
Let's see. Exhaust, use 1 charge. When a ranger performs a connect test, commit 1 effort. I see where this is going. That Paradox is the same thing.
Iron Wool Boots.
Unique. I don't know what unique means, but we'll figure that out. After you play a moment, soothe 1 fatigue. You got moments for days.
I'm living in the moment.
And it's a yellow card too.
Favorite gear? You like that? This is an outside interest. This should be something that's not expected.
True. That's true. Attached to 1 of your equipped gear. Ooh, buddy. After you use a token from the attached gear, soothe 1 fatigue. That's the one I'm getting.
The favorite gear?
Yeah.
Okay. What color? You know where it looks like?
It's yellow.
Right.
Let's see. It belongs to the something.
Okay. Yeah, great. Paratrepis Whistle. I have that in my deck, actually.
Yeah, but still, I'll pull it up for the people at home. That one is an exhaust, and then use a token. Call when a ranger would suffer an injury from a predator, or harm would be added to a being by a predator. Cancel that effect.
Okay. Familiar Ground.
Familiar ground. Add 1 harm to a flora and add 3 paths to a trail. I think I have that one. Yes, I do have that one.
Then there's the Infusion Canteen.
Okay. That one's pretty cool. I was looking at that one a minute ago. That's basically when you play this gear, you choose an aspect. And like just for reminders, you can put one of your colored tokens on it. And you exhaust and use one of your SIP tokens to gain 1 energy matching the aspect chosen.
So you basically have 3 stored energy.
Yeah.
And then it says once you're done with the step, you'll have a total of 30 cards in your deck, 15 unique cards, 2 copies of each, plus your role and your aspect card. Your ranger is now ready to begin their adventure. So my natural
is to go off book.
Well, I'm definitely going off book. Yeah, I'm not playing the spirit forward character to be on book. But the thing that I really wanted that I couldn't have.
Okay. That's what Davy was saying. You can pick a card from one of the sets you already picked as an outside interest. It's a nice way to squeeze in another manifestation, if a bit boring. Andrew Fisher also saying you start with it in play. You don't have to pay for it. And
so I just get to start with a 3-cost thing on the table.
Yes. Yeah. Looks like it. And then on the other hand, Cheb Frog says dual wielding Scepter of Harmony is not bad on perfect days.
Do what?
Cheb Frog says on the other hand, like if you picked had 2 Scepter of Harmonies, so one's in your deck obviously and one's it set up, but if you pull another one and you can dual wield them.
That would be crazy if you get going. So I really want to add the trail mix, but here's the problem with trail mix, okay? So you pay 2, you get 2 morsels on it, of course. You exhaust and use a morsel. Choose a ranger. That ranger soothes fatigue equal to the number of fit in their energy pool, which is for you a max of 1.
1, yeah.
Which is not great value. Not great value.
Everyone's saying you're growing trail mix. And
everyone says I'm going trail mix.
Wayne says Reverb Block It is something you might look into. When you play... Oh, goodness gracious.
Is this me? I'm supposed to look into this?
Hold on. I can do this like 1,000 times better.
I found it.
Okay.
When you play this gear, attach a moment to it from your hands. Exhaust, use 1 echo. It comes out with 2 echo tokens. Play the attached moment as if it were in your hand. It remains attached to this gear instead of being discarded. Wow. So it lets you like double use a moment. Interesting. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Man, yeah. I'll probably pick one here and then maybe like go back through later on.
Let's see what my item count is. So technically I have the Scepter, that's 2. The Novice Lens is 3.
You can't pick any more personalities though, right?
The Paratrepus... I don't know.
I don't suspect so.
Paratrepus Whistle is 4. So I have 1 slot left. I could play the Locket. So what cards can you not choose from?
You can choose anything. Probably just not personality, I would imagine.
Oh, this stuff?
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah.
Man, this is going to be a real big question, isn't it? The headset is pretty cool. When a ranger scouts, increase the number of cards scouted by 1.
We like that.
We like that. Tim says if you don't go trail mix, he'll eat his hat. Which you'll probably just do just so he'll eat his hat.
In spite of him. The problem is it's so bad for Jonathan.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
I'll take care of myself. Andrew says Reaver Block It is expert. Headset good. Ooh,
what does expert mean?
I don't know. He's
expertise?
Enigmatic. Oh, is it expertise? It probably is. Bless you. Let's check it out.
But I can do that, right?
It is expert, so we cannot do it because you're not a traveler. It's only for travelers. And
are you sure?
Yeah, expert can't be outside. It's right there in the lobby.
Any specialty or background?
All right.
So I'm looking at all the wrong cards.
Well, just the ones that say expert.
So, hold on. Specialty or background? So the first thing was personality.
Yep.
And then what is Forager?
Forager is a specialty.
So I can pull from Forager.
Yep, and you can pull from the background, which is basically the cards that are in the game.
But this Traveler is what?
Traveler is that. Yeah, but see, look right here, up top. It says expert.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. You can't do the expert stuff because it's only for travelers.
Alex says, Zach has been talking about that trail mix for 2 years. It would be a crime if we don't get the trail mix. Okay, I'm going to the trail mix. I'm going to the trail mix. I can't deny who I am, where I came from.
Oh, man, breathe into it. It's cool. When you perform a test, discard any number of cards from your fatigue stack to commit 1 effort to the test for every 2 cards discarded that way. So, like, if you really need it.
It's probably good that I didn't fully understand the trail mix until now, because I would have shaped my entire deck around that.
So, Soothing Fatigue is your drawn back up?
Yeah, so...
oh, you're putting it back in your deck?
I think you put it in your hand.
Oh, that's so good.
Let me look up Soothe. So, Soothe
on 3
says...
Spirit. Get out of here.
Some game effects allow you to soothe fatigue. When this happens, draw that many cards from the top of your fatigue stack and place them in your hand. So you'll fatigue into a stack, and then if you soothe 3, you would draw 3 off the top of that.
Goodness gracious, that's very good.
Yeah, soothing is very powerful.
Wow, okay. And I don't have 3 Spirit to use it, but you could imagine if I did.
Oh, man.
Okay. I'm just going to, let's see, I'll show them the one I was looking at, which is breathe into it.
I think with a very minimal understanding of the rules, we got through that just fine.
I think we did great. No, that was it really started feeling good after a while.
But think about this, right? Think about that deck building experience. And I get there will be people that really get technical with this when they're playing Earthborne, right?
Right.
Like people do in other things. But like being honest, I have only played very early prototypes of this game, right? I've never built my own deck for this game. We just went through this process. I'm very excited to explore my character.
Yep.
Has a personality to it and a vibe, right? I'm also not dead exhausted.
Yeah, right.
Like when we built Arkham on stream, that was one of the most energy consuming experiences because you can't, the energy here, the spirit of this is so more free form. Like I'm not super worried about min-maxing because it can't fit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I might make some bad choices in my deck building, but there's just so much less at stake here. So I like that in that level a lot. And the fact that you're kind of walking through and you're picking these different pieces. And it's really cool because like even though I'm a shaper and a shepherd and we chose the personality things we chose, we didn't choose them all.
Yeah.
So like I can choose some of the same decisions with different stat cards.
Yeah.
It's going to change the cards that I'm taking.
Yeah.
And so like I could use this same stat card even and build multiple different decks with this same pool of cards.
Yeah, you pull out any of those two, especially the early stuff, the stat card and then like your role or your background, and it's a whole different world.
Yeah. And like I thought the deck building would be like all my deck would be one color. But look at this. That's not how it is at all.
Yeah.
It's actually all the colors. But it's really cool because you have these defined boxes like shepherd. And so it's like you're choosing things of all the different colors from that group.
Yep.
Right? Which is really how clever.
Very cool. It's very cool. All right. So I think we've pretty well done it. I still haven't done my one-off, but I'll probably just do favorite.
Gotcha.
But it's one of the things I'm gonna look at all night. I'm gonna go to Ranger DB. I'm gonna look at all the different cards.
Yeah.
And I'm
so
going to pick one.
At this point, if it was just us hanging out,
right?
It would be we have our decks.
Yep.
And we dive in.
Yep.
Start day one. Right? Which would be very enjoyable.
Could you guys imagine how much fun that would be? Unfortunately.
Now, I will say one of the things I like about the fact that we're not about to do that, just to be clear, we're not doing that, is there's a bunch of people that are just now getting the game.
That's right.
And I think it's fun to show the deck building process because people are about to be going through that. So hopefully if that's you, this is helpful. Or if you watch this and then buy the game, it's helpful that you saw us fumble through how to do this. But also, and every story is going to be different. There's different campaign things that get triggered, and you're going to go to different locations, and like how your adventure goes is very different than everyone else's. But I think it's good to give people time to experience this.
Yeah.
Before we start just showing what's happening.
Yeah.
In the campaign.
Yeah. I think so too. This is the little entry from after we do this whole thing. It says, your eyes refocus, and Calypso smiles warmly. It is time, she says. As of this morning, I am no longer a mentor. Like you, I am a ranger. She speaks briefly with Elder Thrush, douses the fire, then turns to you. We will travel from here to the boulder field. I'll stay back and follow your lead. And that's where it starts.
Did it.
Whoo-wee.
That was good. That was really good.
Man, this is
it's
exciting.
Just a shame I want to play.
This is exciting, yeah. This is exciting.
I love this.
I know, it's everything.
So I guess this would be me?
Oh yeah, I get to choose one of these.
Got to get these painted.
Yeah. Can do this one. This feels good. Maybe this one.
This feels good.
Yeah. Look at that. Then you can run around, have adventures.
I like your cape.
Yeah.
I wish capes were normal. I was telling Serene about that the other day. It's like, it would be really... just adds a lot of personality when someone whips around and there's a cape flowing, you know?
Well, in wintertime, just turn your AC off and don some capes.
That's right.
It's money saving, and it's a fashion.
I was telling her, like, how... I wonder what would happen if I just started showing up to work with capes on and how long it would take before people were...
I did weirdly stumble across a video on YouTube, which is like how to make a cape out of, it was from a LARPer guy, how to make a cape out of a blanket. Perfect. And it's very simple. And you just need one, like a pin just right there. Yeah. And then you got a cape.
I did that as a kid. You just have a blanket, you have a little clothesline pin.
For some reason, I never did that. I don't know why I never had a cape as a child.
And you're like one of the most creative people I know.
I know.
So
I was not focused on capes.
Locator saying, Zach has a really short commute home. There should be time. I got other stuff to do, weirdly enough. It was a busy morning. Brendan... Any update for those backers that haven't received any shipping notification yet? I'm not the official source on this, but I do know I see people getting the notification. Yours is just not showing up today.
I'm actually about to check.
And so people are getting those notices all the time. I know it's going to take them a couple of weeks to work through all that. So I would assume that you're going to get an imminent notification in the next few days or the next week or two. Brent, wait, you guys aren't just doing a 6-hour playthrough? We're not.
Not today. Man, it is. You can feel it pulling, can't you?
Yeah.
You can feel it pulling on you.
Yeah, this was great. Kudos again to Earthborne for pulling this off and the entire team.
Let's see.
Andrew.
Let's see if mine's at home or not.
He's checking.
Oh, man, the servers are currently unavailable. Apologize for the inconvenience. On a stream, too, UPS.
Devastated.
USPS. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's live. I'm going to keep that together just in case.
Yeah, I'm just going to think about it, and I will actually go home tonight and figure out what your card is. It's so tantalizing. What a cool little twist.
Very cool. Well, you got anything else?
No, that's it. That's it, and that's all. We did it. Another Monday Live in the books. The first Monday Live with yours truly.
With J-Dubs.
Old J-Dubs.
As a reminder, this is Earthborne Rangers. If this seemed interesting to you at all, we have it on our website for pre-order. Kickstarter's fulfilling. Our fulfillment process is going to start after that is over. People will be getting notification when that's ready to be processed and sent. You can order it there. Everything from the core set. Currently, at least, the deluxe wooden tokens and the lore book and I think the trail map are still available. Huge shout out to Earthborne, Andrew, the entire team, both the Andrews. Very excited about this one. Very honored to be working with that company to support and sell this game.
There is definitely more Earthborne content coming. Oh, here we got to change this. Yeah. There is definitely more Earthborne content coming. I don't know right now if that's streams, that's pre-produced stuff, that's both, all, everything. Who knows? Yeah,
Ulare asking if we were going to play on stream someday.
Yeah.
I
couldn't pronounce his name, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah, it's the Nazgul from the Lord of the Rings TCG are like Ulare Lamenya.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we have a lot more content coming, as you were saying.
Yeah.
I think we'll either be probably doing some campaign play on a stream or possibly even produced in like a filmed and edited way.
And if we do produced, I'm juiced about the possibility.
John's a video guy, and he's just been waiting to be set loose on a project like that. So we're working through our studios. We need our studio to be done. That's like a huge hang up. The other piece is kind of what I was saying earlier. November is like a really tough month for me. I'm gone for like 3 of the 4 weeks, personally and professionally. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be hard to produce. So the timing of studio being done, and there's only a couple weeks left in October where we could do something. But we will do plenty.
Yeah. This is not our last Earthborne stream by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be.
Andrew T. Harrison, this was great. Really has me anxiously awaiting my backer shipment. Hopefully it helped.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. If someone's still here and they're listening to us, in the comments, after you make your deck, I would love to know what your the last one you do. What was it called? The outside interest card that you pick.
Yeah, like what you're picking.
Yeah. I just think that'd be so cool.
And we also have our channel on Earthborne on the Discord.
That's right.
Which is
come in and say hi.
A great place to hang out and ask questions. This is some cool commentary to read. Sean saying, very helpful stream. I really appreciated it. Davey, great stream, guys. Excited for everyone to play this amazing game and stoked to have TC supporting it. Wade, hey boys, just got home and my box of Earthborne Rangers was waiting for me. Very excited. Wade, love to know how that goes in the Discord channel, of course. And yeah, thank you all for being here. It was great. And we'll be back next Monday with another Monday Live. And if you get your pledge, would love to hear about how that experience goes. I was asking some people on Discord this morning if they played it this weekend. There were some people that got it in time to enjoy it this weekend, but I'm really excited for thousands of people to have the game and to be playing it, because I think everyone with this game has been hesitating to look too much into it because they want to just experience the story and what's going on. So even the pre-discussion is somewhat tighter, and so now that everyone, at least in the US, are going to start getting it, like, I'm excited to be able to have those discussions. So
that's gonna be awesome.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next week.